I really wish someone would bring some meters into this meeting.
I can leave right now, no problem.
No, don't you dare. Oh no. My button stopped working. Hey everyone, it's Meters Day on Zoom Test Kitchen. Thank you, Hasmuk. I took your advice and I'm now bringing my meters in on a separate device, and it's glorious. It just is perfection. But now my Stream Deck isn't working as soon as we started this meeting. Hi, everyone. Let's make the rounds. Let's say hello. I see Robert in my top left there. How you doing, Robert?
Hey, David, very much for the warm welcome with the meters. Always good to see lots of meters and see who's in sync and who's out of sync. I'm out of sync.
No, you're perfect in every way, shape, and form. Hey, did you see, Robert? We talked about it last night on the rundown. Did you see the announcement from YouTube about auto dubbing for
No, I haven't seen it.
I can share it with you later. They just released auto dubbing in multiple languages for a whole bunch of educational channels. So I don't know. I thought that might be interesting to you. I'll pop the link in the chat.
Cool.
Let's say hello to Mr. Mike. Hello, Mr. Mike.
Hello. Am I looking holiday-ish?
I love that. I want to live in that house.
No. Isn't it great when Zoom can actually do an AI-generated background for you last minute before the show starts?
Last minute before the show starts. There you go. Love it. Good to see
So
you.
yes, I'm doing a negativity towards the normal Zoom Test Kitchen vibe of
Of
that
no
would be officially
fake
equivalent
backgrounds.
to no fake backgrounds, but
Yeah.
festive for now. I'll change in a bit, but hi everybody.
Good
So
to see
you
you
too
again.
can do this too, depending on the account you have.
You too. And Pete, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I was just going over some tech issues with Zoom and our client and one of my clients today, and things are going good.
Well, okay, we'll need to hear about that a little later on. Let's keep making the rounds. Hasmuk, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you so much. My eldest son and his family decided to escape the cold, miserable UK weather and come down to sunny, warm Cape Town.
Very nice. That's lovely. So you all are together until now when you left them to join us.
Yeah, no, he's still working. He works for Mimecast, so he's still online.
Beautiful. Good to have you here. Frank, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And I was thinking about you, Frank, because of the new one platform.
Pure thoughts, I hope.
No, no, the new, wait, where the heck did it go? I had it here. Introducing Zoom Workplace for Education, a new unified communication licensing program for schools and universities. So
I'll need to see a link for that.
Well, you didn't see it yet?
No.
Oh my God, something that I know that he doesn't know. All right, well, I'll pop the link in and there you go. And we can talk about it later. I'll
Sure.
keep making the rounds. Andrew, hi there. Good to see you here.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good. What brings you to the kitchen today?
Well, I was actually told about this little community, and yeah, I'm looking at developing some software for Zoom, so I thought I'd jump in and see what you guys are up to.
Okay, need to hear more about that. That's awesome. What kind of software?
So I've got a bit of a problem where we're paying exorbitant rates for storage on Zoom.
Oh, I'm the one who suggested you join us.
Yeah.
I remember that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've looked at that, but it seems like there's a few more things that we can do for the community. So I'm still investigating, checking out the market, see if there's actually a demand and people actually care about it. And if they do, we're going to go and build some tools for Zoom.
Amazing. Amazing. So, Andrew, you are one of the two reasons why the topic for today we wanted to talk about. Thank you. We're in gallery. One of the two reasons that we wanted to talk about the what do you call it? Costs and plans and program, whatever the heck I called it. I don't remember, but the money piece of it. And I know Ray Hardwood, Ray is here also. And Ray, I just want you to know, I mean, always grateful when you're able to join us, but just really thinking about you and your wife and just making sure everyone's doing okay.
Yeah, thanks. She's not been doing well this week in general with some migraines and fibromyalgia, and was getting better midweek and then sort of went down a bit. And she said, I'm just going to go to urgent care and make sure I don't have anything else going on. So nothing real serious, but she's in the clinic and she said, go on out to the Tesla and try out that Zoom app in the Tesla.
Well, I'm glad to hear that she's doing okay. And
yeah, appreciate it.
Good to have you here.
Let me mention real quick. I will mention real quick. Andrew Davis and I have already been chatting back and forth via email here for a day or two on his application, and I shared with him some of my thoughts. And so he's got some good stuff coming, I think.
Amazing. By the way, you look completely different in your car when you're not in your studio.
Well, yeah,
you're a different person.
I'm the same guy, but it's a different angle.
You're beautiful. Ray Franklin, how you doing?
I just left an hour-long meeting in my Tesla with the crew as I was running late. So it worked for me as well. My wife was shopping in Publix, and I was able to carry on the meeting. They've made things a lot easier.
Hold on.
Now.
Wait a second.
What? 2 Rays, 2 Teslas?
No, but are you both using Zoom for auto Zoom, whatever you call it? Zoom for auto?
No,
Zoom?
I was, but I'm now at home.
No, I know that, but I mean in the car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Ray Harwood, are you using Zoom for Tesla or whatever it's called?
Yeah, it's built right into the Tesla app, and you just click Zoom. You say you want to sign in, and it puts up a QR code that you just shine with your phone, and it logs you right straight in.
And where's that camera?
The camera's in the upper console right above the rear view mirror, where it watches you when it's in self-driving mode to make sure you're paying attention. And they just use it for that purpose when you're not roving to use Zoom.
This is
fantastic. The audio only. It's audio only if you're driving and you're in a Zoom. But I was parked at the Publix parking lot while my wife was in the grocery store, and I had knocked out a 45-minute meeting. And it was great because now with the new QR code, you don't have to go in and sign in and all that. It's pretty cool. I think the guy does satellites or other things that are easy to use, so I'm not surprised.
That's amazing. Do you happen to know, does Zoom for auto, again, I don't know what it's actually called, but does it degrade the quality of the meeting like an iPhone joining with on a mobile device, or is it considered a mobile device, do you think, or
I don't
is
know,
there like a native app for Zoom? I don't know.
I was just glad to be on, so I didn't test it.
I'm just curious.
From what I understand, they have used the SDK, and because this the console basically runs on a hardened version of Linux, they use the Linux version, and they've worked with Zoom to make sure that it works properly and all that sort of stuff, as opposed to the guys who normally use Linux who have all kinds of Zoom problems. So,
FYI, David, your answer to your question of is it known if he's a phone or not, we could actually check that in security, and it does not come up as that.
In statistics or in security?
If you go up to the Shield, there normally would show if there's any people that are connected via phone, and they're
really
not. Yep.
I didn't know that. Where does it
I've
show
got
that?
green shields up in my corner as well. So
It says 640 by 360 for receive resolution.
Yeah, that's what I saw also. And now it jumped up to 720 for both. I wonder if, wait a second, maybe
I shrunk some of my images here because I'm multitasking right now. So I don't know if that's done anything.
so I just jumped to full screen. I'm still getting 720. I think that it's acting as a, oh no, now it's 1080. I'm receiving 1080 now. So it
Nice.
does not degrade it like a mobile device does. That's fascinating. Wow.
It's a $72,000 mobile device.
Yeah.
Where do you see if someone's calling in? I haven't seen before in the shield, under the shield. What does it look like? What does
Yeah,
it say?
so you would have up there, David, at the bottom, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of that, normally you would see exception. And then you would go into that, and then you would see in there where you have your mobile devices would be in there.
Oh.
And that would automatically let you know it's degrading.
Interesting.
I got
Yeah,
a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Pete.
So we're talking about the resolution thing with Zoom. It was my understanding a while ago, we were talking about this. If one person's resolution watching is the smallest, Zoom sets everything to that. So it's their network doing it, correct?
No, so Zoom can only send out one HD feed. And so
Okay.
it's going to choose the HD feed that everybody can receive. And so if you can only receive, because you're on a mobile device or on a desktop, browser, if you can only receive 720, then it's going to send 720 to
Okay.
everybody.
All right, so like right now, I actually took the program window from Zoom and I shrunk it down and moved it to another monitor. Is it going to change anything on that or not?
It shouldn't. No, as long as one person has, like right now, I'm sending for some reason 720. I don't know why, and I'm receiving 1080. That may be because all of you have me. You're on gallery view or something like that. But as long as one person has everything embiggened and is set to speaker view, you should get the maximum quality. But everyone's quality is different depending on what your settings are. You know, go ahead, Frank, please.
I don't disagree with anything you said. I disagree with Zoom doing it this way. I used to live stream a lot of video, and you can send a manifest, and the device can, interrogate the manifest and say, I only can take 720, and Zoom could transcode multiple flavors at the same time and send out the appropriate sizes for different people and preserve 1080 for the people who can handle it, but seems like a cost-saving measure on their behalf or a server load-saving effort on their behalf. It doesn't have to be this way.
I didn't realize that. That's interesting. Yeah, Mike, go for it.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna agree with Frank. I didn't want to get into too much of the technical stuff, but that what Frank is talking about would happen in normal streaming situations. Like if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, et cetera, it automatically, you would broadcast at the highest bit rate and the highest video resolution. And then depending on the device that's watching the content delivery network, in this case, YouTube, Facebook, et cetera, automatically make lower copies. So you will go down to that lower copy. In this situation, this is what Frank is talking about, where Zoom easily, if they did set it up this way, to send it back to that phone that only can handle 240, 360p, there should be also that feed that they're doing at their end. But again, they have to have additional gear at their end, like YouTube and the rest of them do, to automatically take that highest bit rate and lower it.
Well, they made a conscious decision to save money and resources, but at the expense of the meeting experience for those of us who, like, why should I get a lower quality signal because someone joins on a phone? Like, I don't like that.
It really doesn't make a lot of sense.
It does from a money point of view,
right?
Because then you don't have to encode 6 flavors, you don't have to have more server processes, blah blah blah, right?
Right. So nice segue, by the way. Let's talk about money and Zoom. Let's talk about, Andrew, before I'm gonna pick on you to talk with us a little bit about storage, but can we just start with the plans themselves? Ray, can I pick on you because you had something come up with a plan and cost of it and something like that?
Yeah, so Zoom announced a new content management system for videos on Zoom events. So you can put your videos of your sessions on this video on demand section of your Zoom Events hub. And I haven't read it enough times to even understand it, because it's just, there's a lot of information there, and it's, I won't, downplay that too much. But there's a pricing model in there that basically says everybody that comes in, they'll charge you a fee, and I don't know, it looked like $1.50 or something like that. And not just because, whether they registered for it or not or whatever, but if they come into the video on demand area, everyone that watches in your special content management system, you get charged $1.50 every 30 days they come in. So if they come in today and different times in the next 30 days, you only get one charge. But if they come in another 30 days later, you get another charge. It's like, wait a minute, they're trying to save on the GPU cycles, or they're trying to save on storage, or they're just trying to make money. And I don't know. I mean, I love the people at Zoom, but Zoom is a money-making machine.
Yeah.
So I'm still just not totally clear, but it looks like, to me, a money grab situation. I don't know what extra services you get with this CMS thing. It didn't really seem to include much of that, but it sure talks a lot about how we're going to charge you.
And so this is charged for access. This isn't charged for storing the videos. This is charged for accessing the videos.
Charge for watching, basically.
Wow.
Once you get in, they'll take $1.50, and you've got a rental for a month. If you go over to the VHX TV model, where they have subscriptions, you can have a monthly.
Is this a rent? So who's paying this? The person who's watching, or the person who's hosting the video?
No, it's the company that owns the storage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's not unusual for video on demand models. It's just kind of scummy in a way.
Well, and again, I have to go back to what I talked about, I think last week. I just got my bill from Apple for 2 terabytes of storage, and it's $10 a month, where I'm paying $100 a month to Zoom for 1 terabyte of storage. To me, if their storage charge was reasonable, I would go, okay, CMS is designed to make a little money because, yeah, there's more action and more activity and that sort of thing. But already charging me, what I consider to be an exorbitant fee of $1,200 a year for 1 terabyte, nobody else in the industry does that.
So I'm pulling up. I keep double clicking myself. Sorry. I'm pulling up cloud storage. Let's real quick now that we've jumped to cloud storage. Thank you. So 30 gigabytes means about 100 hours, and they're saying that's $10 a month. 1 terabyte, 3,500 hours, $100 a month. And I know that you have that amazing Google Doc that you made. Kind of comparing all of them. I'm surprised that 1 terabyte is that many hours, but maybe it is. 5 terabytes is $500 a month.
Yeah. So there's a flat increase, 1 terabyte and 5 terabytes.
Right.
Now when they say, 3,500 hours, now, keep in mind that if you do a recording that gets a screen share, plus a speaker view, plus a gallery view, plus a screen share with a gallery view, if you get multiple of those
are all separate.
Each one of those counts an hour. I mean, they're all,
right.
So when I basically, for my events, because most of my clients would like to have a post-event edit of their material, I get all of those. So it's pretty big. And I could go in and clean my stuff up from a year ago, but I still like to leave it out there in case one of them needs it. Andrew's process, basically the way I've heard it, is it'll allow me to use his service once he gets it put together, to move all of my files wherever I want them and help me to manage them. I already use the Dropbox feature that copies my Zoom files over to Dropbox. The problem I have is it doesn't copy all of the files. I like to get the ISO audio files, and it won't copy those, and there are a couple of the text files that it won't get. So if I have a product that will grab everything, I'm in.
But does the Zoom API allow, like, is it because Dropbox and other companies didn't take advantage of the full API?
Correct.
I dare say, when they actually integrated it, those extra files weren't available because they're definitely available in the API now.
So how hard, talk to us, Andrew, about what you're what you envision building and how involved is this? I mean, how difficult does Zoom make it for you to do this?
Surprisingly, not that difficult. Now, there's actually some apps in the Zoom marketplace at the moment which do something like this. So one of them is actually called Z Backup or Z Backup, and that actually allows you to move it to a few different locations. Not a great deal at the moment. And I can just bring that up now if you'd like.
Yeah, please.
So this is, if you guys can see that now.
And
yeah, so that allows you to throw it across to Dropbox, Vimeo, OneDrive, YouTube, and Google Drive, right? However, it doesn't work very well. I've tried this out. It's just very flaky, very manual process, and yeah, it's not worth. I think it's $7.50 per month they charge for it. It just doesn't work. All right, so I want something which can actually take all my historical data, throw it across to these systems, and then allow me to do stuff with that, right? Actually manage those recordings. So this doesn't actually allow you to do that. It just allows you to go and throw it in one particular location. It also
quick question. So you said historical. Does this app go back in time? Like if I have 300 recordings in Zoom, I found tools that will let me move new ones out that I create, but not go back in time.
So this one will actually let you search a month at a time for recordings and then say, hey, I want to back them up to my cloud storage. Right? It'll allow you to do that, but more often than not, those transfers will actually fail. You have to go and retry them over and over again. Right. So as I said, it's a flaky app. Doesn't look like it's got a lot of love for a while, and it can definitely be done better. So that's what we're looking to do. We're looking at the market to see if anyone actually cares about it, because of course this is saying that if we want to build it, we want to have some scale. Yeah, I think the current daily Zoom users list is about 300 million active users per day. So if we can actually just get a fraction of % of those sort of users using this platform, then that's a signal to go.
Yeah, Frank, go ahead, please.
Hi, nice to meet you. I have a question. Is your contention to do the hosting for people now, or can they download locally using your tool?
So a combination, right? Because everyone has different requirements. So we'd actually offer our own storage option, which we would use Amazon S3 to do that, which would be a substantial discount on what you're paying with your Zoom at the moment. For those people that just want, I want a no-fuss solution. I just want to move it somewhere else where it's charging me less and only charging me for what I want, for what I'm actually using, versus Zoom that actually charges, well, you need to buy a package, right? So even if you've only used 200 gig and you've bought 1 terabyte, you're still paying for 1 terabyte, right? What we'd be saying is if you've used 200 gig, that's all we're going to charge you for. And then also having the options of throwing across to your SharePoint, your Google Drive, your iCloud, Dropbox, whatever it is that you want to use, being able to go and back it up to there if that's your preference. We don't care because everyone has their own requirements. We want to enable that.
That's great.
So some of these other features that we're looking at throwing on this as well is some advanced recording management. Because one of the biggest issues that I've got, because I've got a company, I've got multiple users using Zoom, they're all creating recordings. It is near on impossible for me to manage those recordings in any sort of meaningful way. So having the ability to
can you talk can you explain what you mean by that when you say manage? You mean like in folders or with tags? What do you? Okay.
So we'd actually have the ability to tag them, tag them automatically as well. So actually put that in the title, say, hey, this is a tag for a meeting for XYZ or a webinar, and I want them to be thrown into a particular group automatically. And hey, I want to actually give certain people access to this automatically. Right. So having that sharing capability there as well, but also authenticated sharing. Whereas at the moment, there is no authenticated sharing for your recordings. Right. It's a public URL. Whoever's got the URL has access to the recording. For some people, that's a bit of a problem. And one of the other, sorry,
I'm sorry,
Dave.
go ahead. Go ahead.
One of the other features that we're really wanting to throw in there is an AI integration where you can actually search using just like your chat GPTs, search for, hey, I had this recording. This is what was discussed. These are the people involved. This is around this time. And the LLM can actually say, hey, this is the recordings that you're actually interested in. And this is the actual timestamp of when that particular subject was discussed. Click on a link. It'll actually show the video at that timestamp, have the transcript showing at the same time, and actually run you from that point onwards to actually take that information in. So that's viable for a lot of people who are in corporate, right? They need to actually know when things are being discussed, but also in people in the education sector as well.
Last week, we were playing around with one of the things that I struggle to understand is where things live and depending on where they live, what they can access. So there's an AI companion button in this meeting. If I click that, then I can access, and I turn it on. Well, it is turned on, but I can access information about this meeting. But if I go into the app itself and I use the AI there, can it access? I guess what I'm asking is, can Zoom's AI companion currently access all the meetings that you may have recorded?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. We need to, do you know Andy Carluccio? We need to put you in touch with him, because I mean, you need to do this so that they can acquire you. I mean, this is what you're describing is sort of like one of the missing links to Zoom communications, as they, by the way, we just before we came on, we got notification that there's a new version dropping on Monday, which has a gazillion features. The first of which is the name change from video communications to Zoom communications, but being able to, for Zoom's AI companion to be able to have access to all of your recordings and search them for you is, I mean, what a powerful opportunity.
Well, there's all this information that these, all these groups that use Zoom are creating on a daily basis. And for the most of the people that I'm speaking to, I ask them, so what do you do with those recordings afterwards? And they say, oh, well, we just put it in email or we share it and no one really looks at it. And it's sort of wasted. Right. So they're actually paying for a resource that a lot of people aren't actually using. Right. So this actually gives you access to it in a meaningful way. Because one of the worst things that people, the worst experiences that people are having is they're getting these recordings and it could be a 3-hour recording, right? And they're going to have to just sit there and listen to it because there's no guide or no ability to actually mine that information and actually get to the crux, the important stuff. We've got the summaries, we've got the AI summaries. They're okay. They're not super great. But actually hearing people talking about a particular subject at a particular timestamp for the thing that you're interested in or the thing that you need to know about is much more powerful than just reading a generalized summary.
You need
let me
integration
jump in here.
Sorry.
To real quick. At some point, Andrew, maybe you want to tell them about your company and what your company already does before this. I don't know if that's relevant to the conversation.
And then let's jump over to Frank. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, sure. So we're an automation and AI company. We're housed here in little old Australia, away from everyone else. So it's actually 6 a.m. in the morning or 6:30 in the morning for me here on a Saturday morning. We build automation AI products for a range of companies. So that's our crux of what we do. We've been running for about 7 years now, but I've been in tech for about 20 years in defense. And I've actually been to the US plenty of times doing jobs over there. I'm actually on my way over to San Fran in January next year.
So before Andrew, I asked if you knew Andy. So Andy Carluccio is a dear friend of the show, of us. He also created the liminal apps, ZoomISO, ZoomOSC, Zoom Tiles, all those, and he now works at Zoom. And I know he watches these. So if he could ask AI to search for his name, Andy Carluccio, Andy Carluccio, Andy Carluccio, then it would be much easier for him to find this conversation. But I think he listens, so hopefully he will hear his name and we can connect the two of you. Frank, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No need to be sorry. Not taking anything away from Andrew's efforts. I applaud them. He's building off of the AI, not the AI, the APIs that Zoom's already provided. Zoom could do this themselves. They've chosen not to. Other companies can use these APIs to do these things as well. If you know how to code, you could do it, David. It's a matter of wanting to or not wanting to. And Zoom has decided, at least at this point, they don't want you to do backwards AI analysis of your previous files. They just want to move forward from when they release the features. If they want to invoke this, they could. If they wanted to make it a pay per, they could say, oh, you have to use credits or some other method. They could say, Zoom Enterprise +++ or Pro +++ gets to go backwards in time. And it's not that Zoom can't do it, it's they've chosen not to at this time.
And one of the things that I worry about is that not only do they not want to do it, but they won't want other people to do it. If we can take all of our, if we can pay you to get all of our recordings out of Zoom and not have to pay $1,000 a year or whatever it is, that
well, they've released the API, so they obviously aren't completely against other people doing it. What I'm saying is, imagine if for an extra fee, I don't know, $12 a month, or I don't know, however they would work it out, Zoom said you can get AI transcripts and summaries and everything of all of your content that's already cloud hosted on Zoom. Imagine how many servers they'd have to stand up, even if 10% or 20% of Zoom clients said, yeah, I actually do want to mine all of my previous content and recordings and do that to it. It would be a lot of initial capital. They'd have to stand up a lot of hardware and services. Maybe they just don't have the appetite for it right now, or maybe they're planning on doing that and they just haven't announced it yet. Maybe next year you'll be able to retroactively do these things. No one else could do it without Zoom providing the API. So the ability to do it, Zoom created. So it's just a matter of, we don't know what Zoom's game plan is.
I'm looking at their extras page, and they could easily add something here called Time Machine that and put a $50 whatever charge on it.
Not Time Machine. Apple would sue the heck out of them. But
but
definitely, they could definitely do what you're saying, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Robert, go ahead.
Hi, Andrew. I have a different use case, actually, and I just wanted to put that on the table because you asked, you're trying to identify what percentage of the market you can actually grasp. Because we record a lot of our stuff, and because we work with interpretation, we record all of the language channels as well. And then I use Zapier just to pick that up and throw it across as a backup onto a Google Drive. Okay? And one of the things that I use the Zoom Cloud for is their player. Their player is so brilliant because it keeps everything in sync when you're watching it. So you can put in captions, you can choose a language channel, you can watch the chat. And so that's what I use it for. And I just keep my current stuff that I'm obliged as a business to provide to my customers online on the Zoom Cloud. And the rest is all downloaded to Google Drive as a backup. That's my use case. Is this something you're thinking about? Is there something there that you'll be catering for?
Yeah, so we'd actually put together our own player. to do exactly what Zoom's doing, but also a little bit more, right? With the integration of AI, the ability to have some additional controls that other players have as well that the Zoom player doesn't have. So yeah, your ability to scrub through a video, for instance. One of my main guys in the company, yeah, he's a video fanatic, and he's all up in this stuff, and he loves it. So if I let him loose on that, he'd be a very, very happy man.
But I think I'm an edge case. I'm not a standard user in that respect. Yeah? So I'm not sure this is your business model.
Oh, it's saying that we would actually, if we were going to go ahead and do that AI integration and have the ability to actually identify those specific items in those video streams that you're actually most interested in, it's something that we'd have to do anyway. So to provide a fully featured experience, yeah.
So let me just pull up. This is the player that Ray's talking about. So this is just a little test that we did in the kitchen a while back, and so I can kind of scrub through here. But if you look on the right hand side, you can see that the transcript moves along with it, which is pretty amazing. You've got the summary, the smart chapters. I mean, it's a very short video, so I don't have that. You've got the meeting coach, which we talked about last time, which I think is a really smart idea. I don't know. It's really it's a very powerful player. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So it's even possible that we'd actually be able to integrate with the existing Zoom player as well. If those extra features are saying that we don't want to compete with, that would also be a possibility for that feature.
I'll tell you what I would like, though, if you're going to go down that route, Andrew, is if your player could be embedded by me somewhere, which I can't do with the Zoom player.
Yep, absolutely.
Because then just for the use case, I have a corporate client who's having an event and he wants that player in his domain where it's safe from his point of view. I'll just give him an embed code. He'll stick it in there and then he's got it. Yeah,
yeah, that's actually a really good point.
By the way, I neglected to say hello to Jason earlier. I'm sorry, Jason. I didn't see you. You kind of snuck in. It's good to have you here, though. I know you weren't coming here, Andrew, today for app advice, but you've got a bunch of folks here. I mean, everybody in this room, I think, would be one of your first clients because, you know, we all have recordings that we're struggling with. Hasmik, sleep well. Thank you. Yeah, Frank, go for it.
And beta testers, David.
And beta testers. Oh, sign us up. Yes.
Well, that's also important to have subject matter experts as well, right? Because if you're going to go and build something like this, you need to know how the app's being used and what the gaps are that you're addressing.
Go ahead, Frank.
Apologies if I missed it. I don't recall or think you mentioned the name of your company or how to get a hold of you guys, or maybe you don't want to, but I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, the company name's called 3.digital. And that's exactly what you throw into I'll put a link in there in the chat. Hold on.
3.digital, automation and AI engineering experts.
There you go.
So it's 3 and then DOT.digital, and they are coding the future.
That's what we do.
Wow. It's an honor to have you here. It's fantastic. You know, you know what you made me think of when you said that you know, a 3-hour Zoom recording is too long to listen to. I thought, well, let's just integrate that with Notebook LM so that we can, you know, kind of throw it into Notebook LM. It'll create a little 13-minute podcast for us, along with an FAQ and everything else. So funny. Fantastic. What do you, other than they want to make money, which they should, it's their job, it's part of their job. What do you all make of what seems to be storage pricing being so out of whack with the other things that maybe I'm wrong. I never thought that $200 or whatever it is, $180 for a pro license was a year was some exorbitant amount of money. It seems incredible. I mean, almost obnoxiously fair for what you get. But then, we're talking about thousands of dollars in storage fees, Frank.
Just my personal opinions, not representing anyone else's opinions. It's not a new thing in the tech industry to try to have lock-in. Portability allows your customers to go other places and take their assets with them. And that's new. That's not new all across all kinds of things since the 80s with PCs and Microsoft and Google and all kinds of other companies. I think Zoom leverages a bit of lock-in. I also think that Zoom gears itself more to enterprise users and lets individuals tag along. So for individuals, storage can be a problem and costs associated are a problem. For companies like Ford or some other huge multinational company, this isn't a lot of money to them. This storage and convenience sometimes trumps, or they have people who can code using the APIs themselves and they aren't locked in. It's mostly the low-level users who are locked in, who don't have the skills or access to people on their team who can use the APIs and free them from lock-in.
You've talked about Zoom being enterprise focused a few times, and I don't disagree with you, but my question is, it's not even a question. That just seems odd to me, given that origin story that Eric talks about, at almost every Zoomtopia about, trying to connect with his girlfriend.
But didn't he come from WebCT or not WebCT, WebEx? Didn't he break off from WebEx?
Yeah.
And that's another company that's really geared towards corporations and enterprise, not
right.
So I mean, I think when you see big moves by Zoom, it's for corporations and enterprise, and the rest of us who aren't corporations or enterprise get to ride along. But you can't take advantage of it in a meaningful as much of a way. And I think, like I said, I'm not going to name any names. So there's people who come here who wouldn't be able to access an API or know how to use it or leverage it. And then companies like Ford have hundreds, if not thousands of people. They could just say, next week, learn those APIs. And by, in 3 months from now, we want a tool that does this, leverage Zoom's APIs and give us a custom solution. I think a big thing for Andrew and for other companies is sometimes getting there first means you become the dominant player in the market, and that's a way to get a lot of business. But once the APIs are there, we all have access to them equally.
Right. And you can become the dominant player until Zoom create, sort of
Eats your lunch.
replicates. Yeah.
Well,
Replicates
in Apple terms, that's called Sherlocking, right? I don't know if you're familiar with that term. That's when somebody fills a void in an ecosystem, and then the company goes, "Oh yeah, we should probably do that," and then that other company's business model goes out the window because that's how it goes in high tech, right?
Yeah. Robert, go for it.
I just wanted to bring us some sort of give us a reference point. Like I said, we do a lot of recording. In some of our conferences that are 3 to 4 days, we record nonstop. I have 250 gigabytes of cloud storage space. And I can only remember one time when I've gone over that and had to pay extra. So I think,
Is that per
Ray
event, though?
mentioned
like 250 gigs for the event?
No, 250 gig is what I have in total. When I look
Okay.
I was just scanning through some of the files. It's around 5 to 6 gig per day for non-stop conference recording with everything that I need. So I think that you need to do a sanity check here because Ray talked about 1 terabyte. I can't see myself using 1 terabyte. I find it hard to imagine what I'd have to fill into 1 terabyte. I know there are big licenses, and I'm sure Frank in the education field has a lot more storage requirements. But as a user on a business license, I get the 50 gigabyte and then I buy an additional 200. And that does me for all my needs.
So that's actually a really good point, Robert. And that's what I'm trying to ascertain at the moment, if the storage issue is actually an issue in the first place. Now, for an individual, it's likely not going to be a problem. But for small to medium enterprise, where they're not actually at that full enterprise level, those large enterprise guys, but they've got 50 to 100 users, that storage is used up very quickly, and would likely be causing them a bit of cost.
For me, it's not the 1 terabyte jump. I'm trying to get back to here. It is cloud storage. For me, it's the first jump. No, sorry, it's not the first jump. We pay $100 a month. What is $100? 650
That's
hours.
a terabyte.
Oh, that is a terabyte.
Yep.
Why are we paying $100?
I pay $40 for 200 gigs.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's a really interesting question. You do
But I think Andrew, I think you've really focused in on who the potential client is. It's not going to be me, I don't think, unless the player comes into place and there's something there that gives me work or takes away some of the manual work that I'm doing. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think there's going to be different reasons for different people, because some people it's going to be about the storage, some people it's going to be about the portability, and other people it's going to be about the searchability of your history and the accessibility of your recordings. So yeah, there is a wide playing field here. When you've got so many different types of users accessing a single platform, you're going to have different use cases. It's about working out which one is the most common and has the most amount of people who actually care about it and will actually move to spend money on that.
Absolutely fascinating. Wow. Anything else about pricing that people want to throw in here? Well, actually, we probably should mention, sort of in the same breath, what I mentioned before. This new, and by the way, I'm watching you. Who is it? Is it Rudy? Yeah, Rudy. Let's just actually, you know what? Rudy's been patient. We'll come right back to this. Mike, Rudy was asking about something in the chat on YouTube. What was he asking about?
Yeah, so what Rudy is asking us is that, and I've noticed it as well, and I mentioned it before we started, is that our tags in the bottom left-hand corner there, I did a screenshot for you, David, if you want to show that.
Yep.
It's in chat.
Yep, I got you.
And if you notice in the actual screenshot there, you'll see that, where Frank's name is now in the bottom left there is in a different font and is larger now. And it never used to be there last week in my recollection. So Rudy was asking, is that new? Let me get his specific question here.
By the way, I think
yeah.
that's a different font than what we're seeing in the app. I don't understand serif or non-serif, but this is one, and what we're seeing in the app is the other. Like sans or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And again, yeah. So Rudy's official question is: are the Zoom name tags new? They look bigger and sharper. He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong at all. But just to clarify, these aren't name tags. Is actually a thing in Zoom that in certain. Is it just in the production studio? But that's like a thing. This is just, I think, the tag from the name when you logged in. Frank, what do you think?
Oh, I wasn't going to comment on that, sir. I was just going to say something else, but I can wait.
No.
I was going to give some context, like about storage, like.
We're going back to storage.
Yeah, because that's when I put my hand up. Sorry, I was just going to give some context.
I'm so sorry, Frank.
No. Sorry, I'm just looking quickly at some stats, and like For stored media for this year, I'm at 145, almost 146 terabytes. And that's just stored. Viewed is going to be much, much, much larger. It's going to be,
146 terabytes?
yeah, and that'll probably translate to, quadribytes or petabytes of viewing data. So I mean, I just, there's
Goodness.
a big difference between individuals and large organizations.
Wow. That's insane. That's an unbelievable amount. Okay. So we'll continue that discussion. But I mean, Frank, sorry. Rudy, I'm not sure if there's anything to say other than, yeah, I think you found something. And I'll be honest with you, I like the font on the app better. But that's just me. So anyone want to jump in about the different font on the?
I
By the
know
way-
I'm not disappointed with the actual tag, but I know that previous recordings, if we take a look at a previous recording on YouTube, we do not have tags normally.
We don't?
No. And again, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Usually it's nothing there. Usually we'll have the Zoom logo in the bottom right, but normally we don't usually have our tags there when we're speaking.
All right, let's go to here. So let's go to an old video. Just turn off the audio. So in gallery view, we've got the names. No, there's my name in the bottom left. Trying to find someone. I mean, it's just me too much. Why was I in gallery view this whole time? There we go. Okay. So you can't see it because it's hidden behind, but Jason's name is down there.
Okay, so they definitely changed the font though.
Yeah, it is very small though.
Mhm.
Yeah. It really wouldn't be hard for Zoom, I don't think, to, give us a tweaker to allow us to, I don't know, make that bigger or smaller or put a background behind it or something like they do in production studio. But
Right, or even disable it too.
yeah. So that's one of the nice things about the ZoomISO app and all the other apps that are now built on ZoomISO, like in Ecamm, is that when I grab feeds out of Zoom, they're clean. I don't have any of that cruft around them.
Yeah, and Jason, actually, you asked the question about if David was using Ecamm for that.
Oh, yes, I am.
Right, but you're not streaming from Ecamm.
Correct.
Because the label. Correct.
And I'm not bringing anyone in from Ecamm. I'm just using it for myself. Yeah. But for anyone who's interested, I'll just say that, let me pull this up for you. The show that we're doing, I mean, you have to look at ours, but the rundown show that we're doing is run entirely through using Ecamm for Zoom. So this entire show, these folks are in Zoom, and then I'm bringing them in through Ecamm to do the production itself. This is a very similar way to the way Leo is doing it over on Twit now. They're also using Ecamm for Zoom. So for anyone who's interested. But I digress. Let's shift just a little, maybe, although not a lot, because it's still kind of pricing, to this Zoom Workplace for Education. I'm troubled that you hadn't seen this.
I'm not that worried about it. Zoom's been evolving their licenses for multiple years now, and it's very common for them to keep changing the configurations of the different licenses, even for education. I think we're grandfathered, or whatever the correct term is now, but Yeah, this happens all the time. They're always shuffling around the options and packages and fragmenting it and then consolidating certain things. And
Yeah, packaging it back together. What is UCAAS? Do you know?
I
It
don't
says
know, sorry.
a new UCAS licensing
I've
program.
heard the term. I don't remember what it means.
Oh, okay. All right. So so this is, so let's see. So you're getting 5 things here. Zoom Workplace for Education, 5 new licensing bundles: School and Campus Plus, Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Plus, and Enterprise Premier. If you have Enterprise Premier, you better have access to all those back recordings and be able to search them. That's the plan that needs to have that. Easier to manage, consolidate, tailored solutions to meet the specific needs of educational institutions. It has both buy as you need and enterprise site-wide coverage models. Contact Center, Virtual Agent, WorkVivo are add-ons. Learn more. Let's see what this says. Collaboration tools, work from anywhere. I mean, this is all the stuff yeah, I think
Unified Communications as a Service.
Say that one more time.
UCAS is Unified Communications as a Service. So,
okay.
software as a service. This is Unified Communications as a Service.
Gotcha.
Basically, depending where you are in the world, if you remember cable bundles, Zoom is very much trying to say, if you bundle multiple services, it's better for you. You'll get steeper why not have your phone system? Why not have video conferencing? Why not have all these other things and roll them into a bundle?
So that's what they're doing here.
They're offering you, I think, 5 different kinds of bundles.
Right.
The lean bundle and the all you can eat bundle, and trying to leverage, the savings. Like I've been approached by Zoom on numerous occasions to be our telephone system, and I'm not involved in the telephone system where I work, and I keep saying you'll have to go talk to those people, but they're very keen to make that sale, right? Like, because at the heart of everything, Zoom's a for-profit company, and they want to upscale all their sales whenever they can, just like every other company wants to, right? And software as a service companies do this all the time, and they're just saying, they're a communications company, so why not unify your communications under one roof?
Yeah. So here's the rundown of what you get for what. So the 5 different plans, and I was immediately drawn to the cloud storage here. So 5 gigs per license, which is what all of us get if you're on a pro license. 10 gigs per license for School and Campus Plus, and then 10 gigs for Enterprise Essentials, and then only when you get up to the really big ones do you get unlimited recording. Which is also true, by the way, with just generic enterprise accounts. They also have unlimited recording storage.
And of course, David, I always get worried when I see the word unlimited.
Yeah, why?
Because Andrew could definitely tell you that there is no such thing as unlimited.
But they'll hobble you in one way or another when it gets too expensive for them.
Right.
Like lifetime warranty. Who's lifetime?
Yeah. Go ahead, Frank.
Unlimited comes with its own set of pitfalls. If you ever decide you want to leave and go to a different vendor, how are you moving your collection? Before you even get into a relationship with a vendor, I'm always trying to figure out, how would I get out if at the end of this thing I want to move to somewhere else? How portable is my content, my metadata, all that stuff? Am I going to be able to get that out easily? Am I going to have to find a third-party company that's got expertise in moving data? Like, what's the lock-in? So the more you have, the more of a problem you have if you ever get to the point where you want to sever that relationship. If you've got 100 gigs, who cares if you've got 10 terabytes and there's no immediate way that you see to transfer all that stuff and keep the metadata intact, now you've got a really big problem. It's kind of like a marriage. It's really hard to get out of without some pain at the end. So, um, before you get into a relationship with any of these vendors, you should have talked to them about how portable is my stuff and all the other things that you need to think about.
Yeah. And so again, not that you're asking for advice or input, Andrew, but having you create a tool to get something out of Zoom is fantastic until it gets locked up in whatever, whatever we've dumped it into. So having that portability on both sides seems really important. Yeah. Is there anything else that jumps out here to people? Zoom Rooms, CRC, Zoom Webinar. I got all excited about this, and again, I thought of you, but I think you're right. I think it's just sort of a smushing together.
It happens a lot. Like I would say maybe once a year. So like I didn't know about this one, but I'm not surprised to hear that they've reformulated the bundles yet again. Probably based on Companion 2.0, they decided to mix it up or reformulate it somehow.
Gotcha.
There are advantages. I mean, imagine you're a small to medium-sized company and you're paying one group of people for your IP telephone, and you're paying someone else for your video conferencing, and you're paying someone else. Zoom's trying to do what Google and Microsoft do, is offer you a suite of tools all under one umbrella. There can be savings there if are they the best in class in each tool? I don't know. You have to decide that and investigate that. And then are you getting value for your money? Even if they are giving you a bundle and you're saving in one way, are you saving in all ways, or are they the best at everything they do? Like there's a lot of forethought that has to go into getting into these kind of contracts.
Agreed.
The one thing I could say too, David, when it comes to negotiating, again, negotiate with your sales rep. And if you don't have a sales rep, find one, and don't buy from the website, because that is the canned price. And I'll leave it at that.
Is there negotiating to be done with your Zoom reps?
Definitely.
Really?
100%.
But I mean, can an individual negotiate with Zoom? No way.
Okay. Gotcha.
My $12 a month, I don't want to pay $9 a month. They're going to go somewhere else. There's no flexibility.
Fair enough. It's funny because it's actually calmed down a bit now, but for at least a year or two, at least in the eCam community, there was a lot of hustle and fuss about resolution. 720 versus 1080. Why can't we have 1080? And they talk about, because we're used to paying $200 a year or $180 a year for a pro plan, they talk about having to spend $2,000 on 10 licenses to get the 1080 jump. This is before you could do it through events, as this huge amount of money. And of course it is for solo practitioners or solo creators, what have you, but we just have to remember that's in Zoom's world and in the enterprise world, 2000, it's nothing. And there's no negotiating for nothing. Interesting.
That's comforting.
It's comforting? Is that what you said?
When you buy a car, there's the base model and no warranty and no undercoating, and then where does the car company make most of its money? It's not the base model car, it's all the add-ons. Well, it's the same thing for a lot of these tech companies. The bundles and the add-ons are where they make a lot of their higher percentage of profit, or so I mean, then offering a bundle and saying, well, you're going to save here, there, and there. Well, are you? You have to do some math of your own and figure out if it's true or not.
Yep. We should also, let me pull it up real quick. Frank, I don't know why I missed this. Actually, once you pointed out the errors of my way, once you pointed them out to me, I remember.
No, I thought it was a decent question. I actually went to the Zoom community and asked somebody, because I went looking on Zoom support site for documentation about how this feature works, and I couldn't find any. So
yeah, so we actually had talked about this, but
nobody knows what we're talking about, though.
I know. I'm getting there. So sorry, Frank posted. Now, is this part of it new? Oh God, now my mouse is not working. Is this piece of it new? The instant piece? Is that what was new?
I don't know. It was new for me, and I thought
Okay.
if it was new for me, it might be new for other people. So I posted it in our Zoom Test Kitchen Discord, which everyone should check out.
Yes, they should. So here's what he's talking about. So if let's see, can I get my keyboard to work? Oh wait, I think it's working now. Every once in a while, I have two computers next to each other, and you know how the mouse is supposed to just seamlessly go? 99% of the time it works, but it just every once in a while like gets stuck, and it has to. I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's like thinking about it. It's now it's not going back. Okay, so if I come over here and I do, I'm just gonna type some stuff in Hebrew. Ani read. Whoops. Nish. Okay, so I just typed a little Hebrew there. And now if you have this turned on, and I'll show you where to turn on. So you go up here to the three dots, and then you come down to instant translate. You have to turn it on right there, and you can then set your target language. There's a lot of languages here. So I'll say English, and now if I just come over this text and I just hold the shift bar down and I just move my mouse ever so little, it tells you exactly what I wrote, which is kind of cool, right? So if I had, let's see if, I don't know any other language. Oh, wait, you know what? Let's do this. Here we go, Chat GPT, right? Oops, wait, I'm still in Hebrew. Okay. I have too many things going on, sorry. Write me a short story in Spanish. Okay. I don't know Spanish, but I think that's the grandfather's secret, or the secret of grandfather. All right. Let me take my story. Okay, I wanted a short story. All right, stop. That's enough. Thank you. Let's copy this. Let's put it into a doc over here. And now, if I want to, I should just be able to hold down the shift bar. In a small town in the mountains of Spain. Oh, and look at that. It's doing the whole paragraph. Lived an old man named Don Manuel, who was known for his magical stories. That's very nice. Given that I don't know Spanish, I can't tell you if it's accurate, but it's very nice. It looks good. And now I can come over here. So I can let go. Wait a second, let me think. So I'm holding down the shift bar. Then when I come over here, as long as I guess I'm over it, it won't disappear, and I can then copy it like that. Nice. And again, if once it's turned on, you literally just hold down the shift key and go over anything, and it will translate it. I like it.
David, just to get the context right, you were in a Zoom doc.
Yes. Did I not say that?
Maybe you did. I was just making sure that
I think I
got that.
didn't. I'm so sorry. Yes, this is in Zoom Docs.
Okay.
Yes, I apologize. Yeah. So now I have a Zoom doc with this chart, and I wonder if is there a wonder if there's like a translate whole. There's instant translate. I wonder if I could, like, if I copy everything and then right click. Oh, wait, I'm not showing you this. Sorry. So what I did is I just right clicked this. And by the way, when I select it all, you can see the Notion, the way that this is kind of set up like Notion, right? With these different blocks that you can move around and stuff like that. In any case, so let's right click on this. I'm going to go to AI Companion. And can I translate to? Let's translate the whole thing to English. What does this say? Do I want to discard? No, I clicked something by accident. Sorry. Cancel. Okay, so it puts it, so here we go. Grandfather's secret in a small village, Here's the whole story. Now I can either replace or insert, or what does this say? Try again. Improve the result. Shorter, longer, more formal, less casual. Okay. Let's insert. So now it put it right below the Spanish up above. Wow.
Again, that's useful if you need to have a bilingual document.
Yeah. I'm thinking about I have a lot of parents here who speak Spanish because I'm in Miami. So if I wanted to create, I wonder if I could, can you even do this? Can you create insert? No, sorry. I'm wondering if I could create like columns or a table or something. I think we talked about this last time, but here we go. Data table.
David, while you're thinking about this, just from someone who works with translations and interpretation, just make sure you have someone proofread that document before you send it out in a language that you don't know.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. This is not what I wanted.
It's the same thing with machine transcription. It's helpful, but it's not real closed captioning. It's fast and dirty, and you might get most of the gist, but context and nuance matters in culture and could take it in the wrong direction really fast.
Yeah. So I can now take this, I can copy this, put it here, and then take the English, assuming it's right, and put it here. And now I've got sort of a nice, side by side of these two stories. It's kind of nice. How does AI do translation? Is it going out and searching for, or is it just trained on
it's been trained.
Languages?
You got to realize that this is one of the easiest way for people who are building LLMs to train them, because there is so much documentation that is available in multiple languages. So it's an easy way to train a model.
All righty then. Well, thank you for finding the instant translation. Yeah.
Can I change topic for a second?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Last week we were talking about handing over the slide changer to someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I did some debugging and I wrote the response on the YouTube channel, but I don't know if you actually saw it underneath as a the issue there is with your computer, because you have to go into the privacy and set. It's with the privacy of your computer. It's set up that it won't allow Zoom to do anything to your presentation itself. So if you go into the settings, the privacy settings on your Mac, you'll be able to set it to allow that.
But it's not. Now, but you mean through Zoom? the Zoom has to have permission.
Zoom has to have permission to do things to your PowerPoint, yeah?
Right. Right.
Which the Mac OS isn't allowing. Now, I didn't realize this because, like I said, I have a dedicated machine that does nothing else but does presentations. So we've had set it up once a long time ago, and I forgot about it. So when you asked me what the issue was last week, I just couldn't figure it out. I just didn't think about going into the the privacy settings. But that's such an obvious one because Mac OS always blocks things unless you open them by default.
So
it blocks
for
them,
you
yeah?
also, it was just a setting.
It was just a setting. I tested it on
wow.
a separate machine, and it was just a setting. So,
Gotcha.
and just keep in mind, we talked about the two options. One was the one that we don't want is actually giving someone control of your computer, and that's usually for remote assistance. We were just talking about for moving slides backwards and forwards. That's it. That's the option that needs to be made available, or needs to be used when you're using that option to allow a remote user to share a slide deck that is on one of your machines.
So that's going to be under privacy and security, presumably.
Correct.
So let's see here. And is it under it's I wonder where it would be. It's
Let me just look for it. I'll tell you in a minute.
yeah. It's not input monitoring. It's screen and I think it's screen and system audio recording. So mine is turned on. I think that's what the setting is, but maybe I'm wrong about that. We can definitely. I'd be curious to know what if we're able to find what that setting is. While we're doing that, Mike, Emerald Audio Visual.
Yes, Emerald Audiovisual from YouTube has a question for us, and it's related for all you guys using ZoomISO. He's saying, hello from Athlone, Ireland. I switched from a standalone ZoomISO license to Zoom events for participants, but I can't see I think that's supposed to be, can't seem to figure out where they are hiding the ZoomISO license key. So you walk through them, David, on that.
Well, so I'll try my best because there's nothing to walk you through. I think there is no license key. I believe you just need to log in to ZoomISO with the same email address, the same credentials as you log into Zoom events with. So for example, I have my, I wonder if I can bring it up here, events.zoom.us. And let me just get into the right the right account here. Is that the right account? I don't even know. Oh wait, I'm not on the right
David,
thing.
my understanding is slightly different. You need to log into your Zoom Events account, and then you will have access to ZoomISO.
All right, well let's play this out. I'm not entirely sure. So let me
Okay.
I'm gonna log in here, sign in. Bump-a-doop-a-doo. Give me one moment while I log in. Okay. All right, so I am now.
If I'm not mistaken, David, you actually had initial problems with this too, because I think it's related to that he had to get rid of something in ZoomISO. Wasn't it related? I remember something about that because he already has maybe his ZoomISO account associated with a liminal account. I'm just guessing.
Right. So
have it.
So here are the steps that I did. Right. So the steps that I did is, I'm sorry, you can't see up here on the right. So I'm logged into an account, and in this particular account, you can see that there's a hub, and I'm trying to show you the details of it, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. Overview.
Yeah, as you're doing that, David, he made a comment that he said the pro mode was still active. Are you familiar with what he means by that?
Pro mode. No, I'm not sure. So here's, sorry. So this is the email address that I have associated in Zoom apps. I'm sorry, Zoom events, right? So I've got that sessions license, the what is it called? The pay per attendee sessions license. And if you go into team and then I go to events.zoom.us, this is the email address that's associated with that. Then in ZoomISO, well, I use ZoomOSC, but it's the same thing. So I'll just bring it up. Under licensing, it says not licensed, but it is. All I do is log in with my email address. I don't put in a key. In fact, let me open.
Right, but David, I remember in the beginning you maybe did forget to maybe deactivate the license and then reactivate.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. So I had a paid license on this on OSC. Again, same for ISO. I had to deactivate that, shut down, come back in, then log in with the same email address, and it connects. So I believe that's what you need to do. I don't think you need a key. And in fact, I don't think they give you a key. I believe. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for, again, there's a bit of the delay on YouTube, so I'm just waiting for.
No, of course.
Of course.
That's fantastic. Ray, good to see you. What else do we have, folks? What else are we playing
The
with?
release notes. There's lots of things happening.
There's a lot of stuff in the release notes. It caught me by surprise. This is it's just 6.3 for everyone. So this feels like a pretty significant jump to 6.3.0. We've got the new name. Legal name change to Zoom Communications across all platforms. I wonder though where the old name is even, because it's called Zoom Workplace. And maybe it's hidden like in their, in a. Oh, I bet you it's. Yes, I found it. Hold on. It's if you go into the about. Copyright 2024, Zoom Video Communications. So presumably the year will change and the name will change right there also in Zoom Video Communications. So we got that. What else do we have? Improved gallery view when displaying Zoom. When displaying Zoom rooms and CRC participants. Do you know what CRC is?
Conference room connector.
Thank you.
It's when you have a professional video conferencing system and you want to tie Zoom into it. You have to buy a conference room connector license.
I wonder what they were sending.
Polycom or some other video conferencing system like that.
I wonder what they were sending before if they weren't sending 16:9. Maybe it was a 4:3.
It's been a while since I've done that, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's a year or two anyways.
AI companion for mobile apps. Well, that's interesting. Both in meetings and out of meetings. AI companion provides users with a personal assistant, yada, yada, yada. If it's enabled in web settings, then you can access the AI companion 2.0 screen from the mobile app header. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Users can ask questions, receive tailored responses using information across Zoom Workplace, uploaded documents, and if connected, Microsoft 365 and Google email documents, but not from prior Zoom recordings. Just as a reminder. Go ahead, Frank.
I remember during Zoomtopia, they said there was going to be a standalone app and there was also going to be a new subscription model for enhanced companion 2.0. Is this
Yes.
part of that?
Oh my
or
gosh.
Is this something else?
Right. The 2.0 on steroids. I remember that. I don't remember the standalone app.
Yeah, there was going to be an app that you could take even if you weren't in a Zoom meeting and you could still leverage the AI, companion part of it.
Oh, interesting.
You don't remember that from Zoomtopia?
I know I don't remember that piece of it, but
They announced a lot of things, but I was
Yeah.
pretty sure.
that's
But I mean, the
interesting.
roadmap was for the whole year, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's out yet or anything.
I feel like I remember them saying that supercharged AI was in the spring, but I could be wrong about
I
that.
also recall them saying there was going to be some sort of standalone app that you could like put your phone on a table in a meeting, even if you weren't in a Zoom meeting, and still get
Yes.
summaries and transcriptions and different things.
Now it's ringing a bell. Yes. Maybe this is it. I don't know. This is probably a precursor to that. I mean, we didn't have AI companion in both in meeting and out of meeting. I think we had it out of meeting, but we didn't have it in meeting before. Now we do. And by the way, Jason pointed out there was one other very important place where the name is going to change, and that is on the invoices that Zoom sends us. That's absolutely right about that.
So we need a wah. Yeah.
Wait, I have one of those somewhere. Where is it? Is this it? No, that's not
We
it.
have Mike.
Support for
He
using
found it. He found it.
I found it. External USB cameras and Android mobile app. Okay. It'll
Yeah, so
automatically
there
switch.
was a lot of complaining when Apple did this. Apple allowed you to plug a USB cam into an iPad or iPhone, but there's no controls. And I guess the Android people were, also have this. How well it'll work, I don't know. Like I know there's a lot of complaining in Zoom meetings about plugging in a webcam to your iPad, and there's no real way to control, how the webcam's working.
I don't quite understand why you would do that. The
There
camera on
there
your
are
phone,
people
even the
there
front-facing camera on your phone is so
there are
much better
people who
than.
want to draw and write on their iPad tablet, and then the camera's not in the right
Oh,
position, so they
I
want to plug a
understand.
USB cam in and put it on the desk or clip it to something.
Gotcha.
But there's a
Okay.
lot of complaining because it's not a good implementation. And I don't think it's Zoom's fault. I think Apple needs to have, or there has to be the manufacturer of the webcam has to create an iOS app that gives you control over the webcam functionality. Somewhere there has to be a driver that lets you adjust that camera. Whose responsibility is that? I think is where
Yeah.
some of the blame was getting misplaced.
Jason's excited about this. Oh, well, you don't need an external webcam. You need an external mic because we can't hear you.
Frank, tell me about the problems.
There you go.
The problems? I think originally there was a rotation problem. You couldn't rotate the video, but the more pressing problem was people were upset they couldn't zoom the camera, they couldn't do that sort of stuff, they couldn't shade the camera. But I don't really think that's Zoom's responsibility. Zoom gives what the operating system allows. And on Windows, usually you need a manufacturer's driver or the standard built-in drivers that Windows supplies. On Apple side, I think for iPad, there was no real camera controls when it was initially released. Maybe that's changed. I haven't kept up to date, but there were a lot of complaints that I can plug the camera in, but I don't like the framing. So move the camera closer because there's nothing you can do to zoom it digitally or. So anyways,
What kind of camera? What I'm
UVC.
thinking, what I'm thinking of, and I'll experiment with this. But why I'm excited about this is taking a digital SLR camera and now strapping a cheap Android phone to it, and suddenly, I've got live streaming. All my camera controls are on the camera.
Yeah, I don't do too much with Android, so I don't know how well this is implemented. And maybe it's awesome on Android. I don't know. I just know on the Apple side there were complaints, but I thought some of the complaints were misdirected at Zoom because Zoom doesn't supply the drivers for your camera, your operating system, or the manufacturer does.
Right.
Right. It's the handshake that actually happens between the actual camera and the actual device / and operating system too. So that Frank is right in that regards. It's operating system based and also the camera base. Now Zoom has to be smart enough now to know that the operating system has to have that functionality in it. So it has to be of a right version of the operating system that has that functionality, which most of Android and iOS does. But again, there's also the other scenario too, that if Zoom knows it's there, they have to know it's there and they have to build it in their part of the app part so that it actually calls out and grabs it too and understands the technology of the commands that the camera has. So if there is a digital zoom that it understands that, oh, there's digital zoom, it basically has to query that end USB device to make sure that it gets all the functionality back.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to experiment with it because I'm excited about trying it either with a Sony A7 or a Canon EOS.
Yeah, just make sure that if you are plugging in the camera to the Android device or iOS, in this case, you're going with Android, is that if you're using a capture device of some sort, a mediator device to plug it into your Android phone, that allows the data to go through and not just the video to go through.
Okay.
So your capture card may vary with some experimenting, because unless the device itself has also an HDMI and a USB or in it, then chances are the USB will already have it in it.
Cool, thanks.
What I miss?
We solved all the world's problems.
In
Now,
this case,
David,
Mike,
did you bring
it's
enough for
USB.
everyone?
I did. I have plenty if you'd like. Cold pizza. There we go.
Cold pizza's the best.
It is.
No,
the
I was
best.
I was getting a little techie on the US UVC side, and
Yeah.
and Jonas
It's
was
just
just
the
talking
release
about it.
notes definitely say USB cameras.
Yeah. It's here. I got it here.
And again, it's all about the UVC, which is the communication. I don't want to call it a protocol because it sort of is, but it's sort of not. But the UVC communicate, basically the C stipulates the communication part of it. And Jonas is right that he was saying, yeah, he was actually thought it was really cool too. Camera support for Android is really cool. UVC on Android has been around for a long time now. He's correct. But again, you have to have the right device plugged into the Android device that has the proper UVC codes that both the device and the operating system know. Then Zoom just has to ask the operating system what that device has.
There's a lot of Android stuff in these notes.
Well, that's good. They deserve some love too, right?
Absolutely. You can reset your customized global navigation toolbar by the default layout by clicking the More button and selecting Reset to Default. I thought we already had that. So on your you can move things around on the bar at the bottom. What do they call it? The navigation toolbar. There's a Reset to Default. I already have that. This feature allows you to quickly revert to. I don't understand what's wrong. What's new? We already have that. Am I crazy or? I see it right at the bottom of my More thing, and I pressed it and it just reset everything. So I'm not sure what's new about that. But then you can use your Android photo picker.
I think it's because if you read further down, it also applies to tabs. If you read further down in the notes too, you'll be able to pop out apps out of the workplace app, like pull the email out from the workplace.
Wait. The work now you have me confused.
Well, that'll be further down when we get to it, but it's talking about the toolbar, right? And how you can reset to default, and I agree with you that already exists. But then it mentions the tab order and visibility. So
you know what? I thought this was in the meeting.
I think it's the global one.
Yes, I apologize. This is the one in the app.
Yeah.
And if you look at the More button, there is no reset to default. Okay.
Till Monday.
Right, till Monday. Gotcha. Okay. Minimum Android version. Oh gosh, hold on. It's this stupid. I do not like these. No, why can't I?
Oh,
why is
the
it-
nested tables. I don't like them either. Like,
can't scroll up and down. Well, there we go. All right. Back, forward, and history button to support clips, whiteboard, and email. Okay. Here it is. Ability to pop out tab for additional product areas. So what were you saying about this? Is this what you were talking about before?
you know how in meetings you can pop things in and out of meetings?
Right.
Now you'll be able to do it in the app. You'll be able to pop it. Like, let's say you want the docs or the whiteboard or something. You'll be able to pop it out. That was my understanding anyways.
Merge the newly opened window back to the main window without needing to close the Zoom Workplace app. Okay. Huh. Okay. What? Oh, dear Lord. Link to the Zoom community. Oh, that's interesting. Right now, there is no direct link to the Zoom community from within the app, but now it'll be there. Wow. Kudos to the Zoom community. That's fantastic.
And there's going to be a link to the Zoom Test Kitchen Discord too, I heard.
Right in the app.
Could you imagine how many new users we'd have in like no time? There'd be like 10,000 new users. I gotta wonder if this is just a way for them to kind of offer support to free users or people who don't like,
right.
Because there's a lot of, there's a lot of complaining or negative feedback about Zoom not giving support to people with the wrong type of license.
Right. And it says by expanding the available support channels, users have more options to find solutions and engage with the Zoom community.
I personally don't think that's going to cut the ice, but okay.
No, I will say though, I'm working with Khan. I'm not working with them. I'm going to be using Khan Academy. For those of you who don't know, it's a really profound online mastery-based educational system started by Sal Khan, which is huge now. It's just a huge behemoth of a thing, and I figured that because my implementation and use of it is going to be very, very tiny, I figured that I wouldn't get anyone from the actual org to talk to me. But I did ask them, do you have a group of ambassadors or whatever that I could have a call with and get some guidance? And they said they do. It was not easy for me to find them. I still haven't. And so having this available within the app and an easy way to find is smart. People need that support. All right. Ultrasonic proximity pairing. I'm not a Windows guy, so someone's going to have to
That's a Zoom Rooms thing. So in a Zoom room, the device in the room will emit a frequency that the human ear can't hear, but devices can hear, and it helps them pair and connect. So there's constantly this high frequency sound that apps are listening for, and then when they hear it, it helps them pair.
Okay, then. Slides as background is gone.
Sort of gone.
No, it's not right. I mean, it's sort of been replaced. So this is, if you go into the sharing window, which I'm going to try and pull up right now. So I'll bring this down here and boom. Oh, yes. Okay. So here's my sharing window. You know what? Wait, I have to, I don't have a Keynote open. Let me open a Keynote real quick. Where's Keynote? Where the heck is Keynote? Keynote.
Did you do your Keynote homework I gave you last week?
No, what was my Keynote homework?
I told you there was a way to show full screen Keynote without it taking all the monitors. I posted it in Discord too.
Oh, wait, I didn't see it. What do I have to do? That's
I
important.
don't want to go through that right now.
All right. All right, so here is my Keynote, and let me go ahead and play. Oh, wait, I had it in full screen mode. play in window. And okay, play. All right, so now I've got that playing. So now
play
if
in
I
window.
go, yeah, that's what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, that I know how to do. That's nothing. Now that's how I do it all the time. But now I can't find my Zoom windows. Where'd my Zoom window go? Hold on. I've lost Zoom.
When you go to share, it's the 4 layouts, right? The icon of the 4 layouts.
When you go to share, hold on. I'm so lost here with
The whole
my Zoom
screen.
windows. There we go. All right, I got it.
Side by side, over the shoulder, and
Right.
no person, just the material.
All right, so here's my share window. Sorry about that. All right, so now I've got,
We're not
there's my
seeing it.
keynote. Oh, no, you know what? Wait, where was this? Now it doesn't really matter, but so here's what you were just talking about, right? This is the 4 different layouts, and this you can pop out so it actually becomes, so I could do this. It's not going to work well with me. I can do over the shoulder. I could do it like that, side by side, or just full. So this is the one that's being replaced. And again, I'm not, there we go. That'll work better. So you can move yourself around. It's actually not a terrible key.
My
Well,
big complaint about this, not this particularly, but when Zoom introduced these 4 layouts, is the recordings don't come out the way the meeting happens.
right.
And it's been
It's-
6 months, and I'm still waiting for them to make the recordings be the way the layout is during the meeting. If I have side by side in the meeting, I want side by side in my recording.
Right. It's still.
You're talking your cloud recording, correct? Not local.
I guess we could have a conversation about both of those, but definitely the cloud recording.
Because in local, it comes out side by side and keyed.
No,
Right.
but side.
On Windows, that's my disclaimer.
Side by side. What do you mean side by side?
Side by side mode allows you, and this is in meetings that I'm talking about, although you can do the same thing in webinars. Side by side mode places your slides in one side of the panel and your talking head in another with a panel that's
Yeah. That's the
resizable.
regular share. Right.
And then you can throw a wallpaper behind it for branding on top of that.
Right, but that's the old, not old, but that's the traditional, no, it's the old. That's the old way of screen sharing is you is the side by side. These are 4 new ways. And these 4, I think what Frank is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is that these 4 new ways are still not reflected in recordings.
No, the 4 new ways will show up in recordings.
Local recordings.
Local recordings,
Yeah,
correct.
but not in cloud. Like I only cloud record, almost always exclusively, and it still gives you the picture of the person off to the side, and you can sort of make it bigger or smaller, but it doesn't reflect what you did in the meeting. And I keep waiting for Zoom to make it reflect what happened in the meeting.
And local record, the reason it works in local record is because local record basically records what you see.
Captures
what
your
I
screen,
see.
basically.
Right. So if I'm in gallery view, it's going to record gallery view. If I'm in speaker view, it's going to record speaker view.
Yes, if your local recording is on the same machine as hosting the meeting.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I had to listen closely and discern. No, you're good. My typical setup is I'll have another machine sitting off the side as an attendee mirror, so to speak, so that I have a confidence monitor to see exactly what the attendee is seeing. And then that machine, I'll enable local recording.
Yeah, that's smart too.
Now, where was this thing? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter at this point since they're taking it away, but I can't even find where that is. Where
the PowerPoint is background?
Yeah.
Share advanced,
is that in
maybe?
the share?
Share advanced, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, share advanced. Okay.
Yes, under so share and then
Slides is
screens,
background. Here it is.
documents,
Yeah, I got it.
advanced, PowerPoint is background.
Yeah. Why is
Now,
it doing
curious,
this?
if you were on an Apple, did you have the option to do Keynote as background?
Yep.
And it said
So-
Keynote as background, or the label just
Oh, hold on.
it was agnostic?
So here's mine. So I've got I'm on Apple with the Keynote open.
I don't have a Keynote
slides
open.
I've got slides as background.
Slides as background. Okay.
So I'm gonna, and now it's making me. Oh, it's interesting. It's not the one it's not letting me choose the one that's open. Well, wait a second. Huh? It doesn't just know that there's one open. So let me go in and find one. Okay, so there's the one. Now it's asking me. It wants to access system. Yes, I do want to do that. Do I want it to let it access data from other apps? Do it, dear Lord.
Pretty sure it says Keynote. I did it last week, and I'm pretty sure it said.
All right,
Keynote.
so now I'm doing.
But I don't know about the background part.
But this is I'm confused because
I always thought it was.
slides.
I always
Can
thought
you
it was
see
the
me
same
on?
PowerPoint,
Oh, there I
Google
am.
Slides, or Keynote. I thought they were all equivalent.
David, I saw you. There you are. You're popping in and out. Is that
That's weird. Yeah, this is a.
because of the keying?
I guess so. And there's something wrong with it. I don't know what's going on here. This does not look good at all.
Agreed. On YouTube, it's doing some really
Yeah.
funkiness.
I don't know what's going on there. Well, it
probably-
doesn't matter because they're getting rid of it. So
Ecamm and
Well, they're just changing where the buttons are. The functionality is still the same, but they're changing where the buttons are, and I think the labeling is, as I read it in the release
that's
notes.
actually
well,
like it really depends. Like for one person, okay, but when like I support tens of thousands of people, a
Mhm.
change like this can result in like 42 tickets in a month, and it creates a lot of work because people get stuck in their workflows, right? And they don't want, and they get angry when software changes because they feel angry that they have to learn more things and invest even more time into it.
That they have to relearn it. I don't disagree with that. One of the ways that I've been mitigating it is going through the release notes, anticipating what's going to impact my users, generating a quick, job aid or something like that, and blasting it out there, trying to get ahead of it. But you have to budget time for that too.
My problem is people don't read. You send them emails or whatever, and they don't read them because they get flooded with too many communications from too many different stakeholders, and then they don't read everything. So until they go to the meeting and open it, and it's different that day, and then they get angry that their meeting didn't run smoothly, they don't read anything.
case, this is actually a duplicate feature. It's as you said, Jason, it's really the same feature. It's just right now it's in two different places, so they're just getting rid of one of them.
The button
also
will go
getting-
away.
Support for shared polls in meetings and webinars.
Support.
So allows hosts to leverage user-to-user shared poll content, eliminating the need to duplicate polls. By providing a centralized repository for shared polls, hosts can effectively integrate engaging and interactive elements into their virtual events, fostering greater participant engagement. I was teaching a class the other night on Zoom, and I was not doing it on my own account. I was doing it on someone else's account, and I wanted to show them polls. I wanted to show them this, and all of that was disabled, and it was so frustrating to me. So frustrating that sorry, I'm done kvetching now.
I'm a little confused by this one. Maybe someone can explain it to me. Like, they already introduced the ability to, organize and change your polls in the meeting app instead of having to go to the web portal. How is this different?
I'm confused by this one too. The only thing
This
that
is
I can
specifically
assume.
about shared polls, though, right?
Yeah, but is this
Shared polls.
in the same account? I don't know how this would solve the problem that you experienced, David, where you're on someone else's account.
No, it has nothing to do with that. I was just
Okay.
complaining. Sorry.
So, but like in my account, all my producers have a polling library. And whether I've built the poll or whether they've built the poll, if I'm reading this note correctly, then it shouldn't matter who built the poll as long as it's stored in our library.
I think I understand it now because you guys said the word shared. I didn't focus on the word shared polls.
So, right, I think
recently they allowed you to manage your own poll library
right
from inside the Zoom client meeting app, whatever you want to call it. And I think now they're talking about shared polls. So that makes more sense to me now.
And not only that, the way I'm reading this at least is that if you created a poll and you share it with me, I now don't need to duplicate that and keep it in my library. I can access it.
Shared polls can be for the whole organization, not for you specifically. So let's say you've got 10,000 users and you share a poll publicly, everyone in the organization can use that shared poll.
Right.
But really, you know, like they have templates as well. It kind of like some control over which polls are being shared. Like, what if people are making really bad polls and I don't want them to be shared with the whole organization?
Yep. We got some meeting features about transferring to a Zoom room. Is this, I'm surprised that now clients are prompted with options to transfer the meeting in progress to the Zoom room. That is already something that exists between mobile and desktop, I think, doesn't it?
So in Zoom rooms, Zoom uses the same words too much. I believe it's called companion, and you have to click on a button. I think this is saying maybe that it'll, like, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but maybe what it's saying is it'll put a prompt on your device. So you don't have to take it. It'll give you the option instead of you having to take an action to make it happen.
By the way, speaking of Zoom rooms, when I transitioned from a pro account to a business account, I had such a difficult time doing it because Zoom kept telling me that I have a Zoom Rooms device on my pro account.
That could be an Apple TV. There's a
I
lot.
know.
It could
Right.
be
It was
Facebook portal.
It was my Facebook portal probably.
Yeah.
Right? Fine. Beautiful. But I could not find it anywhere. Like it was not, if I went to Zoom Rooms, it would say
it's
no
in
devices.
it's in the admin section but
So
anyways.
here's the problem. So I have a free account that I just haven't used forever. You know what? Let's actually do this. Hold on. So I have a free account and I wanted to link it to my business account. And it gave me the same thing. So let me sign into
It wouldn't let you because you had a Zoom room?
Correct.
It's just like add-ons. You know, if you have an add-on, like let's say you get a large meeting add-on and you invite and then someone invites you to their organization, those sort of things will block the invitation process.
Right. The problem is there's no way to get rid of it. Oh, wait, that's
Well, the person who's about to be invited, they have to get rid of it before you can invite them to your organization.
No, but there's no way that I can find to get rid of it. So here I am in this is my free account. So account management, account settings. This is the admin side. And let's go to rooms. Is there anything there? Waiting room. Allow Zoom rooms to become okay, that's fine, but
might be under your licenses though.
So where would licenses be? Is that under
your profile maybe? Yeah.
No.
Look and see if it has a Zoom room license. I can't remember exactly where, but
right.
It might be under user management. You might have to look for the user and then see what licenses the user has.
Right. So here's my I don't know why it says Zoom Workplace Pro. I'm not paying for this account.
Don't tell nobody.
Oh no, I'm not paying for it. Okay. So whatever. I'll just leave it. Okay. Where is, see, I don't, pending advance.
We don't manage the Zoom rooms. We don't have a Zoom room license, so
I don't
this
want
is
a
something
Zoom
I-
rooms license.
David,
There's
it's right there. Right there.
Zoom rooms. No rooms,
so click on devices.
no devices.
Put
This
in a
is
support ticket.
This is exactly what I ran into last time, is that things like, and I'm sure, by the way, that it's the portal, which I haven't used in 3 years, but when I did use it, it was probably with this account. I probably logged in at one point, but there's
Now,
no
David,
way.
Have you gone in? Sorry, have you gone into the actual portal to make sure it doesn't have an account associated with it?
No.
Yeah, you might have to fire up the device and then uninstall
Okay, but
it
what
or
happens if
deactivate
you don't have the, I mean, I happen to have it, but like,
I don't know. Like, I'm not giving you good advice because this isn't something I do.
it just Zoom rooms have driven me crazy. They've just,
Well, you've got to think about it again from a back end point of view, that something is talking to their system from the the portal, right? The
Right.
Facebook portal.
right.
So as far as they're concerned, this account is talking to that. No matter if it's in the min interface or not, as far as they're concerned, it's connected. You're using it or not too, it's connected.
I understand. I'm just saying, if it is connected, it should show up on my dashboard.
Maybe it's a different account. You have a lot of accounts.
No, this is the account I want to add, and this is the one where they're saying you can't. Whatever. You know what? I'm going to plug in
Are
the
you,
portal.
are you sure it's a portal? And like, did you read the whole error message? If you have any add-ons, it'll also stop you from getting invited to another account. Did it say if you have Zoom rooms or an add-on? And I don't know what the error message was, but
Well, let's go find the error message.
The good news is there'll be a shortcut to the Zoom community where you can ask your question.
Yeah.
yay, huzzah!
That's right.
And Frank will be there answering that question for everybody. Exactly.
No,
right.
I won't.
So
Probably
here,
Ray Harwood.
so now I'm in my doohickey thing, and I go to users, and I want to add a user, and I put my email address in, and I don't want a Zoom Workplace Business. I just want an unassigned, and add. What? Oh, it's in the pending tab. Hold on. Okay, so now, oh, and then there's an email that comes.
You can just click resend.
Well, I don't need to send. I'm sure the email came. I just have to get it.
Well,
So let's see the email here. Where's my email?
there's probably 30 security experts freaking out because you show too much stuff on the web.
Sorry.
No, it's you're the one putting yourself in trouble, right?
I've been doing my best, Frank. Honest.
I don't really care. Oh my God, why did you do that? Where is the email? I did not get the email. Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't know. We don't need to do this now. Yeah, especially because I have a crying child behind me. Let's move. I will look and see if I can find the email.
Next week's show. Let's finish the release notes.
Next week's show. Yeah.
Is there a next week's show?
Of course. Why would there not be a next week's show?
I don't know. It's that time of the year. Everyone's busy with stuff.
Yeah. Boy, I haven't gotten that email. That's really strange. That's really weird. Sorry. It's like the end of the day here and everything's happening behind me. All right. Let's do, where'd my notes go? There they are, release notes. Someone else talk. There's too much noise right now. My door's open. Oh, door's closed. Okay. Mike, I'm passing this off to you in a couple minutes, so get ready.
Alrighty.
Support improved access to pre-attached meeting. Oh, this is nice, actually. Improved access to pre-attached meeting assets with enhanced meeting info on enhanced meeting info panel. So meeting assets that were pre-attached to a meeting, agenda, documents, whiteboards, local files, you can now open to view attachments directly from the meeting info panel. User can open and close the meeting info panel using a standalone toolbar button called Meeting Info in the primary toolbar or in the More Overflow menu. Okay.
Ooh, it's called the More Info Overflow menu. I didn't know that was its official name.
Learn something new every day on the Test Kitchen. Support muted audio notification for mobile apps. Oh, this is nice too. Now you'll get a consistent reminder across Zoom Workplace desktop and mobile apps when you're speaking while muted during a meeting. Contextual next steps interface after Zoom Rooms again. What else here is jumping out at people? Oh, you can get your My Meeting Coach stuff now just directly in the app. You don't have to go into the backend. That's kind of nice. And some webinars, Simulive webinars with
This one's actually really nice.
Yeah, automatic transition to live segments. Wow. So hosts can schedule Simulive webinars to automatically roll over to a live segment after the pre-recorded video completes. That's really nice. Although I'm not sure why you wouldn't just play a video in.
I want to see what the transition looks like. Like, how does it actually physically happen?
Hosts and panelists receive visual notifications before the transition, allowing them to get ready for the live portion. During the pre-recorded segment, Backstage is available for hosts and panelists. That's why you would do it this way, to communicate privately. After transitioning to live, the webinar operates like a regular live session with hosts and panelists having full capabilities. Hosts can also manually end the pre-recorded video early and force the transition to live. This is a really nice feature. Very nice.
Yep.
And what makes it possible and really fantastic is that Backstage piece. Because if you didn't have that Backstage communication, then you could just play a video into a webinar and then go live after it. But with the Backstage, you can outplay it and not be on stage while the video is playing. Just making Mike host. Okay. When he comes back, I'll pass it. Oh, no, see, I can't. Arrgh. These nested tables. Team chat. Quoted text. The update quote UI allows users to retain text formatting such as bold, italics, yada, yada, yada. You can insert line breaks within quoted content using Shift-Enter. Okay. Jump to draft enhancements. Click on the draft label in the sidebar to quickly jump on their most recent draft in a conversation. I'm not sure I'm fully understanding this. Read first to first view any unread messages. Okay. Bullet and numbered list formatting. I'm a big bullets guy. That's nice. Improve control over private channels in team chat. Oh, you can disable the creation of private channels in team chat. Meeting section in the resources tab. Enhancements to scheduled messages in Zoom team chat.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Being able to schedule
scheduled
a message.
Messages. Yes. Users can schedule messages for a more appropriate time based on their availability and time zone. For one-on-one chats, the default scheduled time is set to the next working day at 9 a.m. in receiver's time zone.
We have
different time zones.
We have a sort of a law where I live about right to disconnect. I don't know if where you live have such laws, but lots of places have these laws now. And sometimes a manager or somebody wants to keep working past your work hours. Now I could say, okay, I know that person isn't working till 9 o'clock tomorrow and it's 7 o'clock right now at night. I don't want to send them a message because they have a
Right.
right to disconnect, but then I could schedule it, keep working, and it wouldn't show up till their work hours start.
Huh. Interesting. I love one of the reasons I dislike chat so much is that I don't have the option to either snooze a message or send later or things like that. And I use those all the time in mail. All the time. Mike, I think I'm going to officially pass this off to you. We stopped at mail and calendar features, if that's what you want to continue with.
Alrighty.
Sure, give them the boring stuff.
I have to say, sorry, Mike.
I've talked about all the sexy
David.
new stuff. I'll give you the mail and calendars.
Mail
I
and
just have to start my
calendar
drive home.
crap.
I'm so
who-
sorry.
And everybody doesn't use that mail and calendar crap, and David leaves,
Hey,
and
maybe
everybody else
before we-
leaves. And
After
Go ahead.
after Dave says goodbye, let's go back to the meeting chat because the comment from YouTube was interesting.
oh,
And that person's
Which
been
one?
waiting a while. From Emerald Audio Visual from YouTube. I don't think we mentioned that he made that comment. Bye, Dave.
yeah, Frank, for my sake, can you just bring up what that was?
Emerald Audio Visual from YouTube. UVC captures are pretty broken on Android since Android 10. And on Apple, they are only supported on iPad OS for devices with USB-C. Yeah, that's true.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't know. I didn't know about the Android because I'm not an Android guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's similar to what I was talking about when Jason was here regarding, again, the UVC code has to get through the actual capture device to make sure that the phone
Sure.
gets the proper codes.
I guess,
All right.
next week when people start using it, we'll find out how well it was implemented.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to the release notes. Mail and calendar features. Okay, and I'll just make myself spotlit. There we go. So there we go. So new feature, send SMS meeting invitations directly from the scheduling interface.
SMS
Okay.
is a real mess at Zoom for some people.
I believe it. I think as far as I'm concerned, SMS is a SMS is a mess.
I don't know that
in
it's
general.
necessarily Zoom's fault because of especially in America, the way I guess it's the Federal Communications, whatever they're
FCC?
called. FCC
Yeah.
forces phone carriers to have these campaigns and stuff, and Zoom can only do what's required, but they make you fill
Yep.
out a whole vetting process. But assuming it's SMS was working for you, then it's nice that you can send them directly from the scheduling interface.
Right. So users can invite participants to scheduled meeting by entering their mobile numbers.
Neat.
Hmm.
Never done that.
What's that?
I've never tried that.
Yeah. The schedule button provides autocomplete suggestions for internal contacts. Nice. For external contacts, the app saves phone numbers for future autocomplete. Nice. The SMS contains the meeting link, date, time, and additional information. For existing events, users can add or remove invitees and resend updated SMS invitations. Deleting an event trigger cancellation SMS. Let me do that again. Deleting an event triggers cancellation SMS to invitees. This still doesn't sound like a right sentence, but this feature must be enabled by Zoom. So this is not in the min panels when I'm hearing there, Frank.
Yeah. There's quite a few things that you have to reach out to Zoom to turn on. There's a whole bunch of things that Zoom has that if you're not aware of them, you don't like. Sometimes it's hard to find out that there's things you can ask Zoom to turn on.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's good that they're starting to add into the actual notes itself is that, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I have to tell Zoom to do that. I want to do this. It's nice that they're actually seem to be adding that into the notes at least. So at least people can actually have some sort of reference when it comes to that. All right. So users can add, again, integration support for managing multiple calendars. Okay. Users can add and view multiple calendars from Outlook. Users can create new calendars, switch between them, and manage all their calendar invites centrally within the app. This eliminates the need to juggle between separate calendar applications, enhancing productivity, providing a unified experience for event management. I'm not a big Outlook fan. Our company is not we're more of a G Suite. So this is not a big deal for us, but I guess for the Microsoft 365 accounts and such, this would be definitely useful for those customers.
I don't know. I see a lot of people having problems with Zoom integration with external calendars. We'll see.
Right. Yeah. Again, we've had that in the past on past Zoom test kitchens where calendars would lose sync, or
I'm not
there would be-
necessarily blaming Zoom though, because
right.
I don't know if Microsoft keeps changing things behind the scenes too. So it's hard to tell when two separate companies are interconnecting whose fault the problems are.
Right. Right. And welcome to the world of APIs and SDKs. Because everybody's using an API or SDK of some sort, somehow, some way for integration. Okay. So the next one, new or enhanced feature again, enhancements to reoccurring meeting scheduling. Okay. Users can schedule reoccurring meetings only for weekdays. This provides more flexibility in managing reoccurring meeting schedules according to their preferences. Why only for weekdays? And all of a sudden, not weekends now?
I think
Or is that bad wording again?
I think it's more about the reoccurring part. There's been some complaints about how Zoom handles reoccurring things. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm just
Yeah, the one example that's coming to my mind quickly when I hear this is that if I'm a house of worship and I want a reoccurring Zoom meeting every Sunday, is this I can't do that and I have to set up individuals?
well, I was more thinking like people were complaining about things like I want to do the first and third Thursday of the week, or the first, second, and fourth Thursday of the week or month, I mean. And basically I think the answer was you had to pick all the Thursdays of the month and then eliminate the one you weren't going to use or something, like those sort of kind of limitations.
Okay.
But I don't
Okay.
know why
get that.
specifically they're talking about weekends. So like maybe I don't know everything about Zoom. I'll be the first to admit that. So maybe there was some kind of issue with weekends.
Yeah. The interesting word there is weekdays. Only for weekdays. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
There's also, I know there's some concerns. Different people believe that the first day of the week not everyone agrees on what the first day of the week is,
Right.
depending on your culture and where you live geographically and all these other things. Some
Yeah.
people want Monday to be the first day of the week. Some people want Sunday. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is 100% fair. And yeah, again, they should be more. Yeah, the weekdays is still only for weekdays. Yeah, that would be definitely interesting. Okay. Next, ability to add reason when modifying calendar events. Okay,
Reason.
I'm surprised that that's not been there before, but let's do that anyways. When
Yeah.
updating an event, a Zoom calendar host can add a reason for the update. Sure, that's fairly standard. I know even in G Suite I could do that. But I guess Zoom's calendar. Okay, yeah.
It
I've
just
gotta
sounds like they're trying to
remember-
get feature parity. Like the calendar is relatively
Yeah.
new for Zoom, and I guess they finally got around to putting this into it.
Right.
They
Okay.
probably
Yeah.
had higher priorities or something.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that when we're talking about the calendar in here, that we're actually talking about Zoom's calendar functionality as compared to
So if you
my
modify
linkage
if
of
you
the two.
modify a meeting and then there's no reason, you get 27 emails. Now you can put the reason in while you modify it, so people aren't so
Right.
confused.
Right. Yeah,
Good-
see, right
good
now
thing to
I
have.
haven't been. Yeah, right now when we have our G Suite connected to us, I make all my modifications. I just use Zoom Calendar in my use case as a holding, so that if I'm in Zoom, I can just, it's a quick lookup for me instead of me going to the G Suite version of my calendar. But I keep forgetting that if I did a modification within the Zoom Calendar, within the Zoom Workplace app, that I may or may not have the same functionality as I do in the G Suite. I got to keep remembering that.
Yep.
And that's basically what we're talking about here, is that adding a reason isn't in the Zoom Calendar functionality right now to actually send that to Google, even though Google's got that functionality already in their calendar functionalities. All right. Next, we're going to be going into Zoom Clips. All right. YouTube audience, are you still using Zoom Clips? If so, don't forget about storage, as we were talking about earlier today. All right. Support custom layout within the Zoom Workplace app.
I thought
Users-
Clips already had this. I thought they had it before meetings had it.
The custom layout?
Yeah, maybe because they're saying recording session, maybe, but you'd have to record to have a Zoom clip.
Right. Yeah. So users can customize the clip layout before starting a recording session similar to meetings.
Or the modify
Yeah.
the background wallpaper.
Yeah.
Is that the part that I don't have Zoom clips
Maybe.
modifying the background wallpaper, or is that like I just assumed that was there?
Yeah.
If David was
Again,
here, he would probably know because he has Zoom clips.
That's correct. Yeah. And I do not use Zoom Clips either with our implementation. Okay. And we'll do the other quick one here, which is the ability to duplicate a clip within the web portal.
That's
Okay.
helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see use cases for that.
Whenever you have a video, it's nice to make a derivative because then you can do things to the clone and leave the original unblemished. Like let's say you want to trim it. You don't want to trim the source one. You want to trim a derivative, right?
Correct. Yeah. So basically having the capability of doing edits again within the Zoom cloud, within Zoom Clips.
Like maybe you want to make
So
4
that-
different iterations of the master clip or something, right? Trim it in different places or something.
Yeah. For different purposes, say it
Yeah,
was
for
a
different
multi-
audiences or different groups or something.
Yeah, it very well could have been a multi-host panelist webinar that you wanted to be in a Zoom clip. Because
Yeah,
again,
or you just you talked about 4 different topics in one clip, and then you went, oh, I guess the other 3 groups don't want to hear. So instead of recording 4 recordings, you just duplicate it 3 more times and trim the other 3 appropriately for that group that's going to be watching it, right?
right.
Yeah, it's
And
a
of
useful
course,
function to have.
yeah, and of course, the assumption is that every time you duplicate, it's
More
officially
storage.
more storage. Yeah.
Yeah, sells more web space or storage space for
Uh-huh.
some.
And here comes that terabyte full again.
But yeah, I mean, on the platforms I use, I'd be upset if I couldn't duplicate.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So again, just briefly here, users have the ability to duplicate the clips in their from their library. Duplicating creates exact copy as we expect. Yeah. Allowing users to make modifications or the copy for different purposes without altering their original. Exactly what Frank said. Yeah.
It's a pretty standard approach in video stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we will quickly go over Zoom Phone because I don't know if
Let's
any of ours-
not. I don't use Zoom Phone.
Let's not.
We never
All right.
talk about Zoom Phone. I
On
don't know
Zoom
very
Desk-
much, like relatively speaking, I don't know that much about Zoom Phone.
Yeah, true. Let me just scroll through here quickly as we bypass. So, okay. So
But it
there,
sounds
I'm
like they
seeing
did a lot.
Telecom.
There's quite a few notes here.
Yeah. Oh, I like hearing improved audio quality. That's always good. I have been seeing some outages when it comes to Zoom Phone and such that they've been related to them doing a lot of upgrades. So, okay. And that looks like that's it for that. So let's see resolved issues here quickly. Minor bug fixes. Surprise, surprise. Security enhancements. Surprise, surprise. All right, here we go. Resolved an issue where Zoom Workplace app kept ringing after a video call was accepted. Yeah, I can see that being annoying. And that is for our friends on Android only. and Android Intune. Interesting. So that's been resolved. So I'm assuming that was probably a small fraction of people, probably depending on the actual Android phone would be my thought, an Android version of the OS. All right. Next one was resolved an issue where clicking join meeting in landscape mode, our friends on Android again, caused the display to switch to portrait orientation unexpectedly. Yeah, that to me, knowing a bit about the my past history with Android operating system and working for a company that developed an app for Android, I can see that where they weren't getting the proper information coming back from the phone to let the Zoom app actually know what orientation it was in properly. So that one doesn't surprise me. That one doesn't surprise me. Again, that is usually a manufacturer
Yeah, but you know, when they say these
modification of the OS.
these things, it's a subset of users. I don't think it's all users all the time. It's like, you know, which model of device do you have and which operating system version are you on? Like, so yeah, it's good that they fixed it. It probably wasn't impacting every user every time, but still, it's annoying for the people who are being impacted, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Frank, you're 100% correct. Even when back in the day when we were developing that app at the company that I was talking about, again, it was a very small subset. It happened to be back in those days, and again, this was in the original days of there being the separation between Android and iOS, that it was a specific model, a specific operating system, like you said, that was actually causing us the issue that we were having with our latest version of our app. So yeah, I get that. So yeah, it probably was a very, very small subset. Okay, so next one, resolved an issue where SMS list failed to refresh and display a newly created personal contacts name. And this is in Windows.
Okay.
Again,
Good job,
must
Zoom.
be,
Fix
yeah,
it.
must be some small portion because I don't even see myself using SMS related stuff when I'm actually on a Windows client, but that's me. All right, next one. Resolved an issue where users were unable to end meetings. Yeah, I could see that being annoying. Again, Android. So again, probably related to phone specific, probably an operating phone specific or operating so OS version of Android specific. Resolved an issue where the screenshot shortcut was missing in Windows. I've never used Zoom to do a screenshot. Frank, have you ever used Zoom to do a screenshot?
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah?
toolbar if you're on the new
Oh,
chat experience, but I don't know if that's what this means.
okay.
Maybe it's a keyboard shortcut. I
Uh-huh.
use in Mac I use keyboard shortcuts, but in the chat there's a button, an icon that take a screenshot as well. But on Windows I've never tried it. So it's good they put it there.
Yeah,
Also,
again,
these are good for fixing it.
yeah, absolutely. Good for fixing. Absolutely. Yeah. So in my case, I would normally use a third-party app on Windows to do my actual screenshots. So I didn't even know Zoom had that capability. Wasn't relying on it. Let me put it that way. Okay, next, resolved an issue where the old user's display name appeared in the activity center for the callee, despite the call log showing the correct name.
Yeah,
Go to Windows.
I don't have access to Zoom Activity Center or Call Center or whatever they call it, so
Right.
can't comment
Right.
on that.
Yeah, and that is specific based on the license, Frank?
It's another product they sell. Like, you know, Zoom sells a bunch of things that most of the public has no idea about. Almost everyone knows Zoom meetings. A lot of people know Zoom webinars, but nobody knows about their sales tools and all their other things that they provide to other, you know, big companies that most people wouldn't have a use for.
Right. All right, next, looks like this was in general. Okay, so everybody got hit with this one. Resolved an issue where the poor network connection warning.
That's also that product that's for like support agents or whatever,
Oh,
call centers, that
okay.
sort of thing.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I've been getting the poor network connection
Yeah,
box
but
coming
this is for
often,
their
but
whatever it's called.
yeah, for the support agent functionality. Yeah. Okay. All right. Our Linux guys are getting some love. Let's see what we got here. Resolve an issue when we're launching meetings in Zoom Workplace app experience delays. Have I seen delays? Again, I am using the Zoom Linux app, so I'm just scouring my brain. Again, the definition of delay would be questionable. Delay, because I've seen it on occasion where my Linux client doesn't go right away, right in. I don't know if that's what they're talking about as delay, or is it something else? Delay is a little vague for me to give a proper answer on that, but I will be checking. And it does look like too, I did notice at the top of the page that there will be on the, I think David mentioned this, and again, I was busy with the YouTube chat. On the 15th, it looks like there's going to be a new version, 6.3. They're going up to 6.3 instead of 6.2.11, which we're on now. Frank, you knew about that or no?
Yep.
All right. Did David mention that earlier?
I think he might have, yeah. Just he didn't dwell on it, but I think he just said it's Zoom 6.3.
Okay, cool. Yeah, again, I was busy chatting and with everybody in YouTube. Okay, resolved an issue where the pen line width was inconsistent for our iOS people when using a stylus on the classic whiteboard or during annotation. Frank, any input on that one from the iOS world?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. Which one is it?
Yeah, so related to the pen line width was inconsistent using stylus.
Oh, on iOS?
Yeah.
I know they've had some issues with drawing in the different whiteboards. There's been complaints in the Zoom community for 6 months, a year.
Wow. Okay.
Mostly not so much about the pen width. I've seen a few of those. A lot of it is about when you want to change tools, but it's good that they're fixing it. Anyways, the classic whiteboard at some point will be discontinued though. Like they want everyone on the new whiteboard experience.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that want to go on the new whiteboard experience. They say that it doesn't function the same, but I know at some point they're gonna end of life it, but hopefully they get all the bugs out or the feature parity back before they do that.
Right. Now, have you implemented that?
We let people use either one if they want to.
Okay.
Like there's the classic and there's new one. We haven't taken either choice away. It's up to you what you want to use.
Because if I remember correctly, you were hesitant to give them the new one in the beginning.
That's right. We actually didn't give them access to it for a long time because there were quite a few accessibility issues and some other things. And we put in some feature requests, and Zoom actually, I'm sure other people put the same feature requests in, but eventually Zoom did those features, and then we felt that they had made enough progress with accessibility that we could turn it on. But a lot of people, I think, are still using the classic one. My point is eventually the classic one will go away.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Next. So this one's Zoom Phone related. We'll go with resolved an issue where a subset of Zoom Phone users cannot re-enable location permissions in the Zoom Workplace.
It's kind of weird that they jumped from like phone to whiteboard and then back to phone. Why not do all the phone stuff in one section and then do the other things? And I don't know. It's just kind of weird how they've laid
Good
this
input,
out.
Frank. Are we watching Zoom? Yes, you should subdivide your resolves into categories too. That would be actually, especially if there's enough of that category to warrant it.
Yeah, I'd skip all the phone stuff because I don't use the phone.
Yeah.
And
All
we
right,
don't
so
spend a lot of
is
time in the Zoom test
phone.
kitchen talking about Zoom Phone ever. Like,
Yeah. All right. So this next one, so that one, so those two were phone. I don't think this next one is. Let me go after that one. Resolved an issue where users could not complete problem report submissions. Okay, Frank, you've talked about that. Due to unable to navigate past the product selection step. Good old friends at
On
Android.
Android, yeah. That problem report submission is super powerful and useful, and almost nobody knows about it. If you
And
go
they
up to
listen.
if you go to the shield and then you click on the gear for your settings,
Yeah.
or statistics, I mean, gear. I think it's statistics. Yeah. It says, I could screen share that if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Right down here. So I clicked on the green shield in the meeting. I clicked on the gear. I clicked on statistics. Brings up this window. But at the very bottom, there's send a report. So you can say what product you're using. So meeting. This is the error they're talking about. You couldn't get past, like you couldn't pick this apparently. You can say what your problem is, like I can't join the meeting. You can write some stuff about it. You can add screenshots. You can include a log file. You can say whether or not you already have an open ticket, and you click submit, and you've just sent Zoom this to Zoom support, and it tells them what your problem is, what product it is, so it goes to the right team. And then the logs really help Zoom. So if you add the logs, then someone can look at your logs and pretty quickly diagnose what's going on. So that's a really powerful thing, and for it to be broken, I'm glad they fixed that. But the one thing, like I said, is most people don't even know that exists, and it's one of the fastest ways to get Zoom to fix your problem or to tell you why it's happening.
And compared to what other people have said out there, Zoom actually listens to that. Correct, Frank?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be saying I'm certain that free users could use that, but I don't know like what plan you have to be on to use this, but if you have it, it's one of the fastest ways to get help from Zoom. Instead of jumping through 75 hoops, like what operating system are you using? Oh, I don't know. Let me look it up. Oh, and we need your Zoom version. The logs tell them everything about your system, tells them everything about your Zoom client, and captures all the error codes, and they can get a pretty fast idea of what's going on.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So next would be resolved an issue for our friends on Windows. Again, it looks like it's related to chat here. Resolved an issue where we're using a specific chat channel caused severe system performance issues in Windows. I haven't seen
Okay.
that.
No, I've
It's
never
one of
heard of
those.
that.
Thanks, Zoom.
Obviously it's a thing, or
Yeah,
they wouldn't have
there
fixed
was
it.
a reason they did it, and the reason they told us about it. All right, next, resolved an issue, and looks like this is across the board here. Resolved an issue where the reaction report and the resource link report did not reflect reactions in webinars. All right, so webinar product. I don't use webinars, so I can't comment.
I don't use them very much myself, so I wasn't really aware of this.
Very, very cool. Good job, Zoom. All right, resolved an issue where most users were unable to join or start a second concurrent meeting. Oh yeah, due to an error requiring them to switch accounts.
Well, first of all, you have to have the right license to be able to even have a second concurrent meeting. So
Correct.
this didn't apply to tons of people, I'm sure.
Right, but again, looks like it was across the board on all clients.
Yep.
On that one. Okay, good job, Zoom. Once again. All right, we're almost at the bottom of those as well. Here we go here. All right, resolved an issue. Oh, waiting room. Oh yeah, on Windows. Here we go. Resolved an issue where waiting room video content failed to load for users. Oh, okay.
Custom waiting rooms.
Yeah, the custom waiting room functionality where you could, and many do not. I've been in way too many meetings where I still see Zoom Workplace as the blue in the waiting room. I see that way too often, but then I've gone into others. It's like, oh, look at that. Somebody actually put a video in there. So
if I was going to put a feature request in, I think I would put in a feature request for the waiting room video to have a carousel. Imagine going to the same meeting 2 times a week for 10 weeks in a row and seeing the same boring video. If you could upload 5 or 6 videos, and Zoom would randomly rotate them so you saw a different video in the waiting room each time, That would be nice instead of having the host have to take down the old video and put fresh content up every time.
Right. Or even some sort of playlist functionality too,
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah. But Zoom has priorities. Like when you've got a bunch of things broken, you're not going to create new functionality when you've got 10,000 other things to fix, right?
Very, very true. Very, very true. But yeah, I would see that because it does get a little boring, especially if you come really early and you go into the waiting room and the host is in there for a good 15, 20 minutes and the video is only 30 seconds long. I
Yeah.
could see a playlist being really nice there.
Yeah, that would be a good idea too.
Have some sort of intro video of some sort, and then maybe a main body
I will.
video of some sort, and then
Maybe
loop
one
it back.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. But only affecting Windows though. Interesting. Interesting. Next, resolved an issue where users were able to send or receive files in team chat. All right, going back to chat. Encountering a failed to download error when attempting to download the shared files. Good old friends in Windows
I'm
again.
just to stop you for a second. How
Yep.
many people are still watching this stream? Can you tell?
On YouTube, 1 second.
This is kind of,
yes.
I'm just thinking this is a little bit like you really have
Yeah.
to care about Zoom a lot to be listening at this point.
Yeah. And we still are keeping the numbers, Frank. How's that for an
Wow.
answer?
Well, I'm surprised.
Right. Yeah. We've actually gained a couple since David left. I'm very pleased.
Maybe they just walked away and left their computers running or something.
Oh, we very well could be room noise for everybody, and they could be laughing at us now too because we've now caught them because they've just left it on and are
What do you
very
think?
quiet.
Let's just to speed things up. Let's just see if you see one you think is important, call it out.
You got it.
We'll
I
skip
see
a
it.
few of them.
All right. I see something about QR codes since we were talking about QR codes earlier today when we're talking about the Tesla. So let's talk about this one then. Resolved an issue where images appeared stretched or compressed when using the QR code scan feature on foldable phones. Okay. Specific to foldable phones.
I don't have a foldable phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Foldable phones are becoming interesting. And actually, if I remember correctly, I think I heard on Mac Break Weekly this week, there's grumblings about potential of Apple making one.
They've been talking about that for a long time. Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
Apple makes a lot of things in their test labs that never will see the light of day. Doesn't mean they haven't tried it. Do you know about quishing?
Do I know about what's the word again?
Quishing?
Quishing. No.
Do you know what phishing is with a PH?
Yes. Yes.
So QR code phishing is when people make fake QR codes.
Yes. Yes, I have heard
and then
that
they
one
take
now.
you to places that have malware or other sort of bad things.
Yeah, I definitely I'm using again a third-party app that actually will check the QR code before actually allowing me to go to it.
Yeah. Anyways.
But
what was that called, Frank?
I think it's called quishing, like fishing, but with a
okay.
Yeah, so it's got so instead of the PH, it's QR, right, Frank?
Quishing.
I don't know if it's QR or just Q.
All right, Q-ishing. Yeah, Q-ishing.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, Pete, for your sake,
quishing.
again, so what I usually use on Android more specifically is I will use a third-party app. I think
I'm just careful about which QR codes I will scan.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
The ones in public are the dangerous ones.
Yeah. And again, if I do, I actually, yes. So the QR scanner that I actually use that I rely on is made by Trend Micro.
On your phone?
Yeah, on my phone. Yeah, it's Trend Micro QR scanner. And it will actually do a check first to that site and let me know if it's legit or not, or safe or not, or so it blocks me through their cloud system. I don't pay either, it's free. And they will check it for me and tell me if it's safe or not. And then it's up to me at that point if I want to take it and go to it. Because again, a lot of things now are utilizing QR codes even more now. Menus, restaurants.
Oh yeah, I make them at work for things.
Yeah, and now it's becoming a big thing in the broadcast world now is
Zoom
that now
uses
they're,
them for their polls and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
You
in
can
the, in the
turn a
broadcast,
QR code on a Zoom poll.
yeah, in
Every
the,
time I go to a restaurant, I don't use it.
Yeah. Well, the way they do a lot of the quishing is they'll print a sticker and put it over top of the QR code that's in a physical location, like a parking meter or something. And it's the exact same shape and size and the right font and everything. And then you think you're scanning to buy 10 minutes of parking and you're paying somebody who's not the parking company.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's interesting.
yeah. Again, and again, as I was saying too, the broadcast world is using it quite a bit now for if you're watching a TV show live and you want to participate, you want to vote for something during the show, they'll actually put up a QR code and then you scan it, you go to either their Instagram, their TikTok, or to their
Oh, yeah.
main website.
A lot
So
of Facebook, not Facebook, never mind. What am I thinking of? The streaming service that starts with a T.
Twitch,
Twitch. No, not Twitch. The big company. Anyways, you know how you pair. You can just you want to access your account or sign up for a new account, and it'll say point your phone at the QR code on the screen, and then you're Netflix, and then you're into Netflix or whatever else, right?
right? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So a lot of
Instruction
those.
manuals, all kinds of stuff now.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely ever since, and I've been using that app actually for good
Yeah,
pre-pandemic.
I'm not so worried about getting squished on like my TV set. I'm worried about it when I'm out in a restaurant and they say scan the menu on the bar or scan this code to enter a draw at the grocery store and somebody goes up to the till and when the person working at the till doesn't look, they stick a replacement sticker over top and anyways, it's sort of a social engineering hack, right?
Yep. Yeah. And I did look, Frank, and I'm just quickly looking at the last one there, and there
Did
isn't
'em all.
anything else that was
Good.
we didn't
Well,
want
that was enough.
that affect our friends on YouTube on
The release
their
notes are
phones
available
and-
to everyone publicly, so if we skip something you care about, go read them. They're there.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
not
Absolutely. It's
secret
in
notes
the
or anything.
yeah. It's not. Yeah. We're not the only. We're not exclusive to those support information that we just showed you guys.
No, I
Absolutely
just,
not.
I figure the release notes are kind of like the show. Like we never hardly ever talk about Zoom Phone, so why are we going to spend time on Zoom Phone release notes?
Right. Right. And again, that is more, as Frank has said to us many times, it's more in the enterprise world of, again, people that have gone to that next level of being, you would have to be at least, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, business account, business, like it's not pro.
I think you can get Zoom Phone as a standalone product. Like
Oh,
Zoom
yes.
has Zoom Workplace and all the tools that go with Zoom Workplace, but then Zoom also has a division called Business Services. They have contact center, virtual agent, workforce engagement. They have a sales section for revenue accelerator. They have marketing. They have all this, they have all these tools that are more business orientated. And we don't really talk about those at the Zoom Test Kitchen very often either. Like sometimes they'll sneak into a conversation, but I think we mostly focus on Zoom meetings, sometimes webinars, and, some of the other peripheral things, but I don't think anyone here really ever talks much about virtual agent or contact center. It's not really what the show's about, right?
Right. Exactly. But what I can talk about is that vMix 28 is officially in beta. So I will what I can let everybody know is that I'm not seeing any upgrades in Zoom related integration at this particular point in vMix version 28. But again, they're subversion right now of 25, so it's 28.0.0.25, and there's a lot of new functionality if you are a vMix user, but nothing specific to improve the Zoom integration. But they
Probably
are
probably fixed now, but I think it broke some stuff in Companion. But What's the gentleman's name who comes here who kind of looks after his companion? You know, the
Oh, yes.
starts with a J, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was reading something he posted, and he said vMix and companion, I guess, had some incompatibility, but he was going to fix it. He's so fast, like almost that night he was going to work on it and fix it. It's probably fixed by now, that because that was a couple of days ago.
Right. And again, that was now, was he talking about version 28, Frank? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go over to the office hours Discord, the whole chat's in there somewhere.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so there vMix. Yeah. So again, just finish this up. vMix beta 28. So if you do have a non-production machine that you want to start playing with vMix 28, by all means do so that you're prepared once they launch.
What's the big new feature that's in beta?
The big new feature. All right.
Is there any one, or is it a whole bunch of little things, or is there some new big ability? Or like what's the short answer?
The short answer. They are now building in a telestrator.
Okay.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
So, and you don't have to be using you don't have to use vMix, the actual vMix machine for the telestrator.
Okay.
It's basically a browser input. So you could be on you want somebody on a tablet somewhere, as long as they're on the same network as the vMix machine, you can connect up to it. And
years ago when I used a
vMix.
TriCaster, there was a plugin so that you could get external like PowerPoints off of other computers into TriCaster. I think it was a browser plugin.
I will actually just quickly read from their actual feature notes. New web telestrator / monitor in web controller. So that's the section in web controller in vMix, if people are familiar. Turn any modern browser into a telestration device. Supports iPad, iPhone, Android tablets, and most devices and computers with the latest Safari, Chrome, Firefox, or Edge browsers. Includes a low latency video preview and up to 10 dedicated shortcut buttons for remote control.
The sports guys will be so happy.
The sports guys are jumping up and down and sideways. Yes, they are.
But I mean, I'm sure like if you're excited about this, then you're probably not like the NFL because they have really expensive dedicated solutions for that.
100%. And
but if you're doing, college or maybe high school ball or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're doing like a lot of amateur sports, the vMix is used constantly.
I used to shoot a lot of sports and live stream a lot of sports. And I think at the time we were using Wirecast. If the guys, and I always had usually two announcers, one doing the commentary and one doing the color. If they could have had telestration during the matches, they would have been so happy. Like, So that's a great feature.
Yeah. So again, vMix, of course, for people that haven't used vMix before, vMix has had replay built in for many, many years.
Yeah.
So this is just going to be add-on to vMix replay. Let's see what else we got here quickly. That would be interesting for our audience. Let's see. New system / application audio inputs. So they're doing adding modifications to the audio inputs. New playback time triggers, allowing configuration actions a few seconds before a video completes or at multiple key moments throughout playback. So that allows a little different stuff. Another big one is a new multi-view. So they're calling it new multi-view 2 and multi-view enhancements. So a second multi-view is now available with its own unique configuration. So initially they only had one multi-view capability configured. So now you actually have two. The multi-view outputs can now just show inputs or only a single input to use as a confidence monitor. Multi-view sources can now be configured to show mix inputs directly, and multi-view audio meter can be changed from the default master. So you could actually, looks like, and I haven't tried it myself, but I would guess that you could actually see it's similar to like my NTM Mini Pro here beside me, where I actually have the audio per each input beside it. Okay. New mix input support for overlays and stingers. New GT anchor settings. So that is their graphics based functionality within vMix. New flatten layers. So you can now flatten layers. It's a new checkbox on each input. So you can actually flatten that layer. Another big one is now you can actually stream to 5 streaming destinations from vMix. Streaming destinations increased from a maximum of 3 to now a maximum of 5. And that is them utilizing more, if I remember correctly, the functionality of the NVIDIA GPU. Because you have to encode 5 different individual feeds going to those different destinations if they are going to be different configs. Okay, and they're upgrading to NDI 6. If you're in the NDI world, they've upgraded that to NDI 6. They've done some additional audio tweaks. They've added some new shortcuts, which I just see now has actually got one in there for Zoom. So video call connect. These are the new shortcuts. Video call connect, video call reconnect, Zoom join meeting. Ta-da! Set bus volume fade. I think that's supposed to be, because it says volume. I think that's supposed to be volume fade. And set Stinger GT input 1 through 4. And these are now additional shortcuts that have been added into the vMix interface. And other quick updates. Production clock now supports time remaining for the video, where it never did before. They've updated SRT, so anybody using SRT within vMix, they've updated to the latest version of 1.5.3. They've fixed some of the capabilities with the AJA capture cards, as well as they've removed some of the certain streaming destinations because they've been discontinued or no longer adequately supported. Specifically, StreamSpot, Tiki Live, and Twitter. All right. If you're using these streaming destinations, refer to the provider's documentation on using the RTMP streaming option in vMix instead. So it sounds like those companies have dropped their API integration or broke it that vMix can't fix it. So that is quick and dirty of the current information. So if you do want more information from vMix regarding their latest version 28, you can go to help.vmix.com/28 for more info on what new features are coming out and if you need any help doing the new functionality in version 28. How's that, Frank? For as an overview, quick one, without going into more detail and showing.
That's good.
Any vMix related questions? I'll send that out to YouTube and I'll also send that out to you, Frank, if you have any questions on that too.
No, I'm pretty close to calling it a
play
day
with
here.
it? Have you had any chance playing with vMix? I know there was some interest at one time.
No, not yet. I've been too busy. I have a machine that could do it, but I just don't have the energy to take on a new thing right now because I have lots of new things going on that take up most of my time. Anyways, today is what, the 13th or something? Friday the 13th?
It is
Yeah,
Friday
Friday the
13th.
13th.
Yeah.
So I guess next week will be the 20th.
Yep.
And
So
then
the next one will be
27th.
officially, then it'll be after Boxing Day on the 27th.
All right,
So it's
well,
Boxing Day in Canada.
26.
What's it for?
Oh,
what's it for?
interesting.
Yeah.
What's it?
The
Really?
history of Boxing Day is it was an English tradition, I believe, where the the upper class and lower class, upstairs, downstairs, that TV show. It's when the servants would get presents or from their masters, or not masters, but like
Okay.
the well-to-do. gentrified people.
Boxing Day does happen in the States, Pete, correct? Or no?
Not
Boxing
that
Day
I
sales.
don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
heard of it. I've heard of the Canadian Boxing
America
Day.
has Boxing Day. They always have Boxing Day sales. I think Boxing Day sales were a bigger thing in the States and came sort
Yeah,
of
we
up to Canada in the 60s or something. Or
yeah, we
70s.
incorporated that. Yeah. Frank's 100% right on that one. When it comes to Canada, that was us copying. Yeah, because again, Boxing Day here for the longest time too, we were also closed. Where now more Boxing Day has now become more of a open shopping day. And this is prior to online shopping, of course. But initially, Boxing Day was officially, well, I guess, Frank, is it sort of still, it's still a stat holiday, right? It's still a
Yep.
government holiday. Yeah.
It's a statutory holiday. I mean, you can be asked to work, but you'll get time and a half.
Right.
Unless you're in one of those few exempt classes, but majority of people get paid extra on Boxing Day.
Okay, so I'll mention it to the last call to the YouTube audience. If you have any more questions for Frank and Pete and I, let us know in chat.
I have to go shopping, so.
Oh, you have to speak. See, I brought up shopping and you have to go shopping. See?
Well, yeah,
Told you.
there's not that many days left, right? 12,
Christmas
11,
time
12,
is coming.
12
That's
days.
it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
12 days of Christmas.
Gotta get them. Gotta
Commercialism.
get them all in. Yeah, commercialism. Darn commercialism. And that online shopping. I
Well-
will say quickly that our dealers did really well during Black Friday. Thanks everybody out there that supported all your Canadian dealers. They're very pleased. So that I could definitely vouch for. And Cyber Monday. So I'll say thank you to about that as well from our dealers. They're very happy with all the sales that they got from our Canadian customers up here in Canada. All right. And it sounds like everybody's fairly quiet on YouTube. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So Pete, were you on the radio this week?
No,
I'm gonna
I
bail.
wasn't.
Have a good weekend.
See you,
Hi,
Frank.
Frank. So that, sorry, say that again, Frank, because Pete, or sorry, Pete, say that again. Sorry.
No, I wasn't scheduled to be on this week, so.
Not scheduled this week. All right, cool. All right. Well, it looks like nobody wants to give us any other questions, so I will wrap this up for this week's Zoom Test Kitchen. All right, so there we go. Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna pin that so that we do that. There we go. All right. So I want to thank everyone for joining us this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube know how much you like our content. And for everyone next week, join us because we will be here for another edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. And don't forget that is every Friday, as it says, Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And check your local time zones for the appropriate time. Thanks for